are being left out of the budget process. I'm Maria Aquino with the story.
I'm Debbie Monterrey. The hunt continues in Cahokia Heights for the killer or killers of 2 people over the weekend. More from the Major K Squad after CBS News.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Sunshine today and becoming warmer this afternoon, high 54.
Thank you again. And let's beat the hell out of this thing.
Kelly Chase addressing the crowd last night. Hockey Fights Cancer Night at Enterprise Center. You'll hear it at 6:15.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Eggland's Best.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The Los Angeles District Attorney's Office has until tomorrow to file formal charges against movie director Rob Reiner's 32-year-old son in the brutal murders of his parents. Nick Reiner was taken into custody yesterday close to the USC campus, not far from their home where the bodies were found. Correspondent Adam Yamaguchi says father and son had a heated debate leading up to the killings.
2 sources that we've spoken to who attended the party hosted by Conan O'Brien on Saturday night say that Rob and Nick got into an argument at the party. It was several hours later on Sunday afternoon when the couple's youngest daughter, Romy, who dropped by the house, found their parents' bodies and then called for help.
Former First Lady Michelle Obama told ABC's Jimmy Kimmel they were supposed to meet with the Reiners the night they were killed. Police in Rhode Island are hoping new video footage helps lead to the shooter who staged a deadly rampage at Brown University. CBS's Tom Hansen is in Providence.
Images of a man wearing a hat, much of his face covered by a mask, captured just a few blocks from the Brown University building where a gunman entered a lecture hall on Saturday and opened fire.
2 students were killed. Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says the father-son gunmen who killed 15 people at a Hanukkah celebration at Bondi Beach were motivated by Islamic State ideology. Albanese has met with the man who tackled one of the gunmen.
He is a true Australian hero. He's very humble. He decided to take action, and his bravery is an inspiration for all Australians.
The other shooter was killed by police. The U.S. military took out 3 more alleged drug-running boats in the Eastern Pacific yesterday.
U.S. Southern Command says the 3 boats were all traveling along a known narco-trafficking route. 8 men were killed in all. That makes at least 25 boat strikes since early September, with at least 95 people killed. Democrats and some Republicans in Congress have argued the Trump administration doesn't have the legal authority to carry out the strikes. A few days ago, the admiral leading the U.S. Southern Command suddenly retired. The New York Times reports he had raised concerns about the boat strikes. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
A rookie sets an NBA record.
Oh, right back at you. Coop hits a 3.
The Mavericks' Cooper Flagg scored a career-high 42 points in last night's game against the Jazz to become the first 18-year-old in the league history with a 40-point game. It beats the old record set by an 18-year-old LeBron James in 2003. This is CBS News.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best, better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
It is 6:03, and right now we've got clear skies, 30 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. It appears the St. Louis County Council is going to pass a budget without public input. Earlier this month, the council held a public meeting, but no citizens showed up for it.
And the council is holding its regular meeting later today at 1 o'clock. The council watchdog Tom Sullivan sent a letter to Council Chair Rita Hurd Days advising they have violated the law by not giving adequate notice to allow for public scrutiny or input. County Executive Dr. Sam Page wants voters to approve an internet tax to generate revenue, and in order to pay down a part of the $80 million plus deficit, he wants to use a portion of the Rams money.
They're going to have a balanced budget. I think everybody's going to have to compromise a little bit. If they use some of the Rams money, it wouldn't be so bad. But apparently what Sam Page wants to use is too much for the council. So it's going to require some compromising on both ends in order to get a balanced budget bill.
As to whether they can reach a compromise, that seems to be out of reach right now. Sullivan says he has never seen the county government be so dysfunctional. Maria Aquino, KMOX News.
The group behind a new police training center is facing scrutiny after holding its meetings behind closed doors. The committee, including influential developer Bob Brinkman, met at his home in Defiance last month to discuss potential sites for the $50 million project, according to the Post-Dispatch.
State law generally requires committees appointed by government bodies to post agendas and notify the public. Commission officials tell the paper they will now post notices for future meetings. The full commission meets again this Wednesday.
Union officials say police officers in Webster Groves are looking for jobs elsewhere due to poor city management. We get more from Michael Calhoun.
The Police Association tells the Webster Kirkwood Times that the discord comes as the city council considers asking voters for a sales tax increase to fix a budget shortfall. The union calls the tax proposal irresponsible and argues the city should not ask for more public safety money when positions remain unfilled. The city manager disputes this, pointing to a new bike unit and a pipeline of 46 new applicants as proof that the police department is moving forward.
Cahokia Heights police are searching for the person who shot and killed two people in the 3900 block of Walnut. The victims have been identified as Bruce Mason and Lanaya White. Major Case Squad Captain Rob Thomason says they're throwing significant resources at the investigation to find the killer.
We have about 20 investigators that have been working around the clock, following up on leads.
Investigators executed a search warrant at the residence Saturday and believe the shooting was a targeted attack.
Downtown charter school St. Louis Voices Academy has reopened after being shut down over safety concerns.
At the forefront of those concerns, a student walking out of the school only to be found by a Good Samaritan. Board Vice President Jasmine Nolan tells KMOX the incident usually does not rise to a temporary school closure.
We know that the data reflects elopement is something that is going to occur for a child that has an IEP that lists elopement. And it is a national, international epidemic.
She says they only lost 2% of students after going virtual since Thanksgiving, with many parents expressing support for Voices Academy.
They were telling us that they wanted their school open. They wanted to be at the school that they chose.
However, Nolan says they did lose a small amount of students, estimating about 2% transferred while they were virtual. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Amtrak posted a notice overnight that Lincoln Service Train 306 from St. Louis to Chicago was scrapped due to equipment not being available. Amtrak said passengers would have the option of being provided alternative transportation or rebooking for a later train.
Action St. Louis joining dozens of other organizations from 10 other states to push for FEMA reforms in Washington, D.C. Organizer Melanie Marie tells KMOX while change is needed, they don't believe eliminating FEMA is the answer.
Right now, we see a very slow response. We also see a lot of folks saying that they want to get rid of FEMA altogether, and we're just not in support of that.
Marie and Action St. Louis met with Congressman Sam Graves' team about his bill to make FEMA its own independent agency to enable it to deliver more relief more quickly to victims in need.
The Business Desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. It's been a good year for ridership at Mid-America Airport in Mascoutah. Airport Director Darren James told the Spotlight on St. Clair County podcast that Mid-America moved up to 5th out of 12 in Illinois.
What we've been able to do this year is the capacity that Allegiant put into our airport. We've actually had 6 out of the 11 months so far. We've set records for passenger travel through our terminal. In the month of July alone, we set an all-time record for the airport as well.
It's 6:08 traffic and weather next.
If a Lenovo computer for your business is on your holiday list, don't shop around. Just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com. It's your last chance to get exclusive deals on the PCs you want for your business, like the ThinkPad X9 14 Aura Edition and Yoga 7i 2-in-1. So avoid all that shopping chaos and price comparing, and just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com, where PCs are up to 35% off. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling.
I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
6:10 and time for us to get you another check of traffic and weather. Here we are with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we've got one jam out there already this morning, Debbie. The crash I mentioned earlier on eastbound 64, just east of 70, has a lane blocked, so there's a jam. Onto 70, eastbound 70, the right lane's backed up to about Highway Z, and southbound 61 slows about midway down from P to Wentzville Parkway, and it's jammed at Wentzville Parkway down onto 64 to that crash scene. Eastbound Highway 70, a little slow passing Highway K. Looks like whatever it was may have just been a stall, but it looks like it's over on the right shoulder. They're still with it there, though, on eastbound 70, so not a jam, but there's a little bit of a slowdown at that point. A little bit of a slowdown on northbound 55 approaching McNutt. It's a little heavy there. And on the Illinois side, eastbound 64, just east of Greenmount Road, I'm seeing a little bit of a slowdown as well. Speaking of eastbound 64, on the Poplar Street Bridge this morning in the 7 o'clock hour, they're scheduled to close the left pair of lanes eastbound on the Poplar Street Bridge, and they're scheduled to be closed around the clock through this coming Monday. So probably won't bother you this morning, but it'll certainly make an impact on the drive home in the evening for the next week or so. Next update is 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company St. Louis Traffic Center.
A nice day today with sunshine and a milder afternoon, high 54. Partly cloudy tonight, low 36. Tomorrow, more sun than clouds and mild, high 54. It'll be breezy and mild for a time Thursday. We'll have rain and perhaps a thunderstorm in the morning, then lingering clouds and perhaps a shower in the afternoon. Temperature fall from 55 back into the 40s. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Currently clear, 30 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Chuck's Boots, the Midwest's largest boot stores. Boots for every walk of life. Rugged work boots, stylish fashion, comfortable hiking boots, cowboy classics, uniform boots, and motorcycle gear. Chuck's Boots in Fenton and St. Peter's. chucksboots.com.
It is 6:12. Congressman Mike Bost says he has introduced a bill to bring $1.76 billion worth of improvements to the VA Medical Center at Jefferson Barracks. The Southern Illinois Republican says veterans in his area and the entire St. Louis region deserve the care, support, and dignity they have earned. Some of the improvements include expanded clinical space, as well as dedicated mental health and substance abuse facilities.
A U.S. House committee is examining a decades-long decline in entrepreneurship among military veterans. West Central Missouri Congressman Mark Alford, who sits on the U.S. House Committee on Small Business, says many veterans want to start their own businesses when they return home.
They have the skills, they have the discipline, they have the leadership that makes them a natural fit for starting a small business in America. But we also know the reality is that veteran entrepreneurship has declined sharply.
Alford, a Republican, says nearly half of all returning veterans after World War II in Korea became business owners, compared to just over 4% today. A witness who testified during the hearing told the committee that military veterans wanting to start businesses need better access to loans.
Today at St. Louis University, 1,400 middle schoolers from the Parkway District will get an immersive career day.
At the Regional Business Council, we believe that everyone deserves a good education, a path to a good career.
That's a Landon Pitts with the RBC. He says they want young people to know what's available in high-demand industries so they can start dreaming and planning.
We have over 40 companies that have volunteered to come out, give their service, have great conversations with students.
The STL Works program focuses on giving everyone access to a good education, a path to a career, and a safe community.
University of Illinois football has lost one of its most influential coaches with the passing of former coach Mike White at the age of 89. Sarah Herrera reports.
He transformed a program that had struggled for more than a decade. Mike White took over from 1980 to 1987, guiding the Illini to a Big Ten title and a Rose Bowl appearance in 1984. His pass-heavy offense turned quarterbacks like Dave Wilson, Tony Eason, and Jack Trudeau into stars, while mentoring receivers like David Williams, who still holds multiple school records. He later coached at California and in the NFL, including a stint with the Raiders and helping the St. Louis Rams to a Super Bowl victory.
The Associated Press has released its All-American team featuring 4 Ohio State players among 10 first-team picks from the Big Ten Conference. Caleb Downs of Ohio State and Fernando Mendoza of Indiana headline the list. Downs a repeat selection, the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. Mendoza, the Heisman Trophy winner, led Indiana to a 13-0 record and the top seed in the college football playoff. The team includes players from 18 schools, 7 from the college football playoff. Western Kentucky, Navy, and Hawaii each have first-team selections for the first time in decades. Last night, the Steelers beat the Dolphins 28-15 to stay atop the AFC North. Aaron Rodgers looked like the old Lambeau Field quarterback, passing for 224 yards and 2 touchdowns in Pittsburgh's win. It was frigid at Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, and Rodgers was very good. 23 of 27 passes. 42-year-old looked like he was back with the Packers back in the day. Miami saw its slim playoff hopes vanish. The Chiefs are out of the playoffs, and they face the rest of the season without Patrick Mahomes, who had surgery last night to repair a torn ACL. That injury happened in a loss to the Chargers on Sunday. Last night at Enterprise Center, the Blues lost to the Predators 5-2. It was just part of the story. Kelly Chase was part of Hockey Fights Cancer Night, addressing the crowd 2 years after being diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia.
I want to thank you all for being here tonight and supporting cancer cause. I've got my great doctor, Ramsey Abood, with me, our old captain, Garth Bookshire, and our older captain, Bernie Federico. First of all, thank you. And as all of you know, I've been having a little battle here the last few years fighting this cancer. Got punched in the nose a little bit a couple weeks ago. Found out, got it in my eyes, lost my sight for 6 days, lost my hearing, and it gives you a different thought, different mentality, sets you back. But the one thing that I have to live for is the support I get from all of you. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for all you do for the city of St. Louis. The folks that are here, hold your cards high, because I know you're supporting yourself or somebody in this cancer fight. And I really appreciate the support my family have gotten in this community. Thank you again. And let's beat the hell out of this thing.
Blues coach Jim Montgomery.
Seeing my old teammate, Kelly Chase. You know, when you think about Blues players and why this city and the fans love Blues players, is because of the fight inside of players like Kelly Chase. And I was incredibly lucky to be, and I'm very thankful for the season I had to play with him, where I could learn from someone that competes like him in a night out, night in, night out for his teammates. And to see him up there and the message he delivered, I got a little emotional listening to him. And how can you not? Because you got to love the man.
If you want to donate to Hockey Fights Cancer, Blues for Kids, go to stlouisblues.com. I'm Tom Ackerman on the Voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
KMOX, celebrating 100 years. Presented by Purina, your pet, our passion. Now, a KMOX pioneer.
For more than 3 decades,
Bob Hardy was one of the most trusted and respected news voices on KMOX. Joining the station in 1960, Hardy anchored major breaking news, produced award-winning documentaries, and brought listeners unprecedented global coverage.
President George Bush is on his way to St. Louis right now aboard Air Force One. He's accepted an invitation to spend a few minutes with us here this morning on KMOX. Mr. President, welcome to St. Louis.
I'm looking forward to getting back there. We're at about 35,000 feet heading your way.
Calm, steady, and unshakable during the biggest stories of our time. Bob Hardy helped define KMOX's reputation as the station St. Louis turned to when it mattered most. Bob Hardy, a KMOX pioneer. Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code RAIN to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RAIN to get up to a $5 per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RAIN.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
6:21, time for us to check the roadways. Hopefully nothing in your way, although some of you may be slowed down. Let's get the latest from Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still got this jam out in Wentzville, Debbie. This traffic reports the service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. This crash eastbound 64 to east of 70. MoDOT says all lanes are blocked. I can see east of the crash. I can see some traffic coming through, so I'm not sure if they're just coming on from Prospect or if there's actually some traffic getting through now, but it is impacting traffic, certainly. Eastbound 70 is jammed back past Highway Z, and a bigger impact, southbound 61 is almost jammed midway between W and Highway P, and we're talking stop and go, not just a slowdown like you normally see. A solid jam there coming down southbound 61 right now. Other than that, we've got this heavy traffic northbound 55. Both sides of McNutt or approaching McNutt. It's not quite midway back to A, and it's not a jam like 61 is, but it's slow. And northbound 55 is also a little bit busy between Bayless and Weber. On the Illinois side, eastbound 64 to east of Greenmount, a little heavy in the work zone as well. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers, an important decision, and should not be based solely on advertising.
Boy, some nice weather today. We're looking at a sunny sky and 54 degrees, partly cloudy, low 36 tonight. Back again tomorrow, more sun than clouds, and a high of 54 again. Currently, we have a clear sky. It's 30 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 6:22. It's hard for many to understand why people would stay out on the streets in the bitter cold. Catherine Shaw of All Among Us says she spoke to people Sunday night who simply didn't know beds were available. Some are mentally ill, others.
It doesn't make sense to some people to leave their tents and their sleeping bags to go walk 6 blocks to get to a bus that's going to take them to a shelter that some years they get there and there's no beds. They don't understand that this year there are beds. And their mayor's doing a wonderful job this year of providing shelter to the homeless.
Shaw said she saw about 45 people out Sunday and provided many with sleeping bags, hand warmers, fleece-lined gloves, and thick socks.
The first ever report from the Illinois Department of Public Health on alcohol use in the state.
One key finding in this report, the percentage of people killed in motor vehicle crashes in Illinois where a driver had alcohol in their bloodstream has risen 4% since 2019. In 2022, the most recent year cited in the report, 37% of fatal crashes involved a driver with a blood alcohol concentration of at least 0.01, with 32% at 0.08 or higher, the legal limit for driving under the influence in Illinois. The report also found 23% of high schoolers admit to drinking in the past month, with 11% saying they have had 4 or 5 drinks or more within a couple of hours, making them binge drinkers. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
5 years ago today, a Chicago doctor was one of the first people in her city to be given the COVID vaccination. WBBM's Lisa Fielding spoke with her about the experience and what's changed and what hasn't since then.
Dr. Marina Del Rios was working at the University of Illinois, Chicago in 2020 when she was asked to be part of the first round of the first responders and doctors to roll up their sleeves and get vaccinated.
So I was ecstatic to be an example, surprised that I had been selected, but most of all, really wanted to reassure my community that this was safe and that we should all get vaccinated.
She says looking back, the day was a joyful and momentous one in the evolution of science. But since then, she says there's also been so much misinformation and distrust of vaccines of all kinds.
It's very distressing and so concerning that science is now put into question by politicians rather than by the experts who actually do the work.
Dr. Del Rios says there needs to be more investment in accurate public health messaging and more accessibility. She says the COVID vaccine has become part of a yearly regular vaccination schedule, and its science continues to evolve and improve in time. Lisa Fielding, News Radio 1059 WBBM.
CBS correspondent Michael George now reporting on a new major study on how vaccinations help pregnant women.
Pregnant women who got vaccinated for COVID were far less likely to have severe illness or premature babies. A University of British Columbia study looking at over 20,000 pregnancies found that pregnant women who got the COVID shot were 60% less likely to be hospitalized and 90% less likely to need intensive care than unvaccinated women. COVID vaccination also led to 20 to 36% fewer premature births, adding to the clear evidence vaccination protects pregnant women and babies.
A new meta-analysis finds that being in a supportive relationship comes with health benefits. Heather Tulloch is senior psychologist at the University of Ottawa Heart Institute and the lead author. She says the benefits suggest cardiologists should consider targeting their approach to couples rather than just individual patients.
People that are married, we know that they have better sort of health behaviors and outcomes just being married. But we're now learning that there's some positive aspects if they have a supportive partner versus someone who's not supportive.
The research was published in the Canadian Journal of Cardiology.
A 2-year-old girl recently met the woman whose kidney saved her life.
Luna Miller of Westland, Michigan, got a kidney from 30-year-old Amber Fandre over the summer. The child had been suffering for a year from congenital nephrotic syndrome, which was damaging her kidneys. The family used social media to spread the word about Luna's condition, and Fandre answered the call. She was inspired to donate by her fiancé, Sean, who donated one of his kidneys to a stranger 3 years ago.
He runs marathons, ultra runs, so I would say he's doing pretty well.
Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
It is 6:27 and the time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $40 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $18 a month, a savings of nearly $300 a year.
Whether you need a $100,000 policy or a $10 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. In a hurry? Don't worry. With SelectQuote, you can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable same-day coverage with no medical exam.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-637-9116. That's 1-800-637-9116. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-637-9116.
Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Want to build income without a second job? Learn how real estate investing can help you create extra income one step at a time with Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
It is 6:30, and right now it's 30 degrees with clear skies in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it sounds like they're dispatching EMS, Tom, for an overturned vehicle crash right now on eastbound 364. No, excuse me. It's going to be westbound. I can see the slowdown. Westbound 364 right near Youngerman. So watch that activity. Emergency crews headed that way right now. The problem we have that's really impactful is this crash on eastbound 64 between 70 and Prospect. MoDOT says that it's shut down, but I can see some traffic coming through now. It may be traffic coming on from Prospect, so just be advised, you may want to just stick with 70 if you're in the area, but getting to it is a trouble. Now, eastbound 70, if you're coming in that way, you're backed up through Wentzville Parkway, and southbound 61, that's the worst jam. It's almost bumper to bumper solid back at Highway W now, trying to get down onto eastbound 64. Like I said, eastbound 70, east of 64 is wide open. That is a good alternate for you. Right now, northbound 55 a little slow at McNutt. The right lanes are slow approaching 270, and then Bayless through Weber's kind of heavy. North 270 slow approaching Gravois, and just a brief slowdown right around Doherty Ferry downtown. Westbound 64 a little heavy on the Poplar, and eastbound 64 has some slow stuff. Greenmount midway into Highway 50. Next update, it's 640 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Plenty of sunshine today and a high of 54 degrees. Same for tomorrow with a few more clouds than sun, high of 54. And then 55 on Thursday. That's when things start to change because we'll see maybe a thunderstorm in the morning and then the temperatures will start to fall throughout the afternoon. Right now it's clear and 30 downtown.
2 men are in custody for a November 9th drive-by shooting death in the Dutchtown neighborhood. Police say 19-year-old Kavion Couch and 20-year-old Solomon Rosas both have been charged with first-degree murder, first-degree assault, and other crimes. Officers say victim Brian Aparicio's girlfriend was a witness to the fatal shooting. The two were sitting in a car when the shooting happened.
Dozens of nonprofits are in Washington, D.C., pushing for reforms to FEMA while facing similar issues.
Action St. Louis is there advocating for victims of May's tornado. Their organizer, Melanie Marie, tells KMOX the issues with FEMA are consistent across the country, not just here in St. Louis.
When you hear the stories of response or lack thereof in other cities all the way across the country, in California and et cetera, it makes you realize that there's something broken within a system.
She says they met with the legislative team for Sam Graves, a U.S. congressman from Missouri, who is working on a bill to make FEMA its own independent agency so it can deliver relief faster. They're also fighting against the push to eliminate FEMA altogether. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
I'm Maria Kina. While there are thousands of survivors still trying to recover from the May 16th tornado, Dr. Michael McElmore was in D.C. to tell his story. There were failures on the city's part, but getting federal assistance became even more challenging.
And then there's the Trump administration campaign. The May 16th tornado was not declared a major disaster until June 10th, 2025, almost a full month after the storm.
And under Secretary Kristi Noem's new policy on federal disaster assistance, the work FEMA would normally do was now left up to the individual communities to fend for themselves.
Also in the news this morning, Sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. We have a money minute for you. We have the latest on the Trump administration on the White House ballroom construction, and we have sports on the way at 6:45. It's 6:33, and the news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
Buckle up, St. Louis. The hot stove is already blazing as Heim Bloom gets to work. The Blues look to make December one to remember, and we're following every shift. And as KMOX races towards its 100th anniversary, the Gas House Gang celebrates the legendary voices that made it America's sports voice. Big stories, big moments, and the biggest names in St. Louis sports all month long. The Gas House Gang, weekdays at noon on KMOX.
This is Ron Kraszewski, Chairman and CEO of Stifel. As the year comes to a close, I want to thank our clients, colleagues, and communities for your trust and support. We're especially proud of the Stifel U.S. ski team. Their drive, resilience, and pursuit of their goals this winter reminds us what's possible when we stay committed. From all of us at Stifel, we wish you and your family a joyful holiday season and a new year filled with health, happiness, and success. Stifel, where success meets success.
Life is better together. At Fairwinds River's Edge, dynamic activity calendars, excellent meal options, and an abundance of services come together to create a strong sense of community where meaningful connections are cultivated. Here, you can trust that there will always be something fun and social to do. It's not just a place to live, it's a place to belong. To see what's happening this month, visit us on Facebook or online, fairwindsriversedge.com.
It is 6:35 and time for your money report from Bloomberg, sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Ford has struggled for years to make its electric vehicle business profitable. Now the automaker will take a $19.5 billion hit tied to a sweeping overhaul of that business. As part of the strategic shift, the automaker is canceling a planned electric F-Series truck, shifting production toward gas and hybrid vehicles, and repurposing an EV battery plant. Investors will get a closer look at the health of the labor market when the government releases the delayed jobs report for November this morning. Economists expect the data to show employers added 50,000 jobs to the payrolls. As we wait on that, stock index futures are lower in trading. S&P futures are down 22, Dow futures falling 100. And Bloomberg has learned that UPS will invest $120 million in 400 robots used to unload trucks. Unloading trucks and shipping containers at warehouse docks is mostly done by people and remains a key bottleneck in the shipping industry. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Ted Drew's Frozen Custard, 6726 Chippewa. What a great, great place it is. Ted Drew's Frozen Custard. I'll tell you, when they told me you get to talk about Ted Drew's on the air, I thought I've made it. Ted Drew's was one of the places that I grew up. It was part of being a St. Louisan. It was part of celebrating. It was part of after ball games or bringing people in from out of town or during the holidays. And here they are. Don't forget, if you want to grab that extra holiday decoration, they have trees and greenery while supplies last. You want to get in there for the best selection. They are running low. The Christmas tree lot has lush holiday greenery and decor, handmade wreaths, garland, mistletoe, and more. And yes, frozen custard, concretes, malts, shakes, sundaes, floats, ice cream, sodas. Also sold by the quart. Ted's delicious frozen custard pairs perfectly with your favorite holiday treats. Check them out on historic Route 66, 6726 Chippewa. Ted Drew's, where tradition tastes great and the holidays feel right at home.
In hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage, no medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is Justin Brown with Krantz Financial Group. For over 6 decades, we've helped St. Louis families and businesses plan with purpose and live with confidence. As retirement approaches, one question matters most. How will you replace your paycheck? With decades of experience, we've helped retirees turn uncertainty into clarity through personalized income planning and steady guidance. Our proactive strategies are designed so you can enjoy the retirement you worked your lifetime for, with clarity, confidence, and peace of mind. Your goals, our mission. Start today at kfgadvisors.com.
Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services. Member FINRA/SIPC. Krantz Financial Group is our broker-dealer.
This holiday season, when you get them Steel, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit SteelUSA.com for gift ideas and seasonal savings. Happy holidays from Steel. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Get ready for Thursday night football as the Rams face the Seahawks.
Siteman Cancer Center game time 6:30. Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer.
The Rams, the Seahawks, Thursday night football on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Let's get to Roger Brand. He's in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, the Wentzville area is still the toughest traffic we have out there this morning, Tom. We still have this crash on eastbound 64 near Prospect. It's between 70 and Prospect. MoDOT at last check said all lanes were shut down. So just be advised if you're headed that way. I do see some traffic coming through, but it may just be folks coming on from Prospect. So just keep that in mind. Well, actually, now there is an update from MoDOT that says the left lane is closed, so the right lane is getting by. But nonetheless, so one lane is open. You're jammed almost at a standstill southbound 61, just south of Highway W, and eastbound 70 starts to bog down just east of David Hochul Parkway all the way into 70. So just keep that in mind. Still very tough. Only one lane, it looks like the left lane is getting by on westbound 364 at Youngerman. That's an overturned vehicle crash. Shorter jam there, obviously, since it's westbound. Eastbound 70, by the way, 94 to 5th Street's a little slow. North 270, Tesson Ferry through Gravois. Big Bend up through Manchester is busy. North 55, a little jam at McNutt. Then Union Road overpass up to River to Paris, slow, and westbound 64 heavy at the 70 split. Next update at 6:50 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Metro Transit.
Looks like autumn has arrived, and all fall long, a Metro Transit Day Pass is still just $5, which makes you just one click away from your one-day mental health fall getaway. Plan your trip at metrostlouis.org.
It is 6:41. Joe Lundberg is our AccuWeather meteorologist here to tell us that if you didn't like the deep freeze from Sunday, well, we've got spring on the way.
It jumped up into the 40s yesterday, Debbie. It was really nice in the afternoon, and it's going to go probably another 10 degrees higher today. So if you like this trend, then you're going to enjoy the weather ahead. Sunshine today, we should warm to 54, and tonight partly cloudy, only in the mid-30s. Or sun and clouds tomorrow, again about 54. We get to Thursday, there'll be a front that comes through during the midday hours. Ahead of it, rain, breezy, mild, maybe a rumble of thunder. Behind it, temperatures go from 55 back down into the 40s. And there'll be one little cold day on Friday with sunshine or high 38, not the deep freeze of Sunday, thankfully. And then it rebounds into the 50s with some sun on Saturday. And I think much of next week going into Christmas is going to be on the mild side of normal. Right now, it's 32 at St. Peter's, 30 in Florissant, mainly clear, 33 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's 6:42. Sports coming up in just about 3 minutes. Continuing the news this morning, authorities continue to investigate the circumstances surrounding the death of Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle. Bradley Blackburn with the latest.
LAPD arrested Reiner's 32-year-old son, Nick.
Nick Reiner, a suspect in this case. He was subsequently booked for murder and is being held on $4 million bail.
Bail has since been revoked. He has a history of substance abuse problems and stints in rehab. but appeared often with his dad, including recently at the September premiere of Spinal Tap 2.
Reiner's wife was a photographer. One of her earlier jobs was shooting a cover photo for Donald Trump's book, The Art of the Deal.
In the aftermath of the Reiner's murders, President Trump posted on Truth Social calling the late Rob Reiner in part a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star. At an event Monday, Illinois Governor Pritzker said the president's post left him speechless.
Today is yet another example of the terrible nature of our president when he's attacking Rob Reiner and Michelle Reiner. I was with them 4 days ago.
In his own post, Governor Pritzker said in part that the Reiner's legacy is secured through works of art that impacted generations.
Australia's federal police commissioner has confirmed that a mass shooting at Sydney's Bondi Beach was a terrorist attack inspired by the Islamic State group. The attack during a Hanukkah celebration left 15 people dead. Authorities have identified the suspects as a father and son. The father was killed, the son hospitalized.
A reminder, the U.S. Postal Service is warning that packages need to go out this week to beat the holiday rush. CBS's Jesse Mitchell.
For the lower 48 states, Ground Advantage mail should go out no later than tomorrow, while Priority and Express shipping can be pushed to Thursday and Saturday. Those dates move back a day for mail going to Alaska, Hawaii, or the U.S. territories, which means Ground Advantage mail should go out by today for those places.
The Nashville Predators won again, beat the Blues last week 7-2. Last night at Enterprise Center, beat them 5-2. The highlights for the Blues: Dalibor Dvorsky had a pair of goals, and he was chasing a hat trick, came up short. That's about it for the Blues. They struggled. Again, the second period got them. They were outscored 3-0 in the second stanza. Coach Jim Montgomery.
It's a great example of not being prepared to start on time. But it's Christmas season. I want to focus on the positive. The positive is Dalibor Dvorsky. It was nice to see him moving his feet, beat a goalie clean with his first goal. The second goal is a really good power play movement. And he's on the back door, putting the puck in on the forehand, which isn't an easy task. Great pass by Jake Neighbors. All five guys touched the puck on the power play. That was really good. And the other real positive was seeing my old teammate, Kelly Chase. When you think about Blues players and why this city and the fans love Blues players, it's because of the fight inside of players like Kelly Chase. And I was incredibly lucky to be, and I'm very thankful for the season I had to play with him, where I could learn from someone that competes like him in a night in, night out for his teammates. And to see him up there and the message he delivered, I got a little emotional listening to him. And how can you not? Because you got to love the man.
Here he is, Kelly Chase, addressing the crowd last night.
I want to thank you all for being here tonight and supporting cancer cause. I've got my great doctor, Ramsey Abood, with me, our old captain, Garth Bookshire, and our older captain, Bernie Federico. First of all, thank you. And as all of you know, I've been having a little battle here the last few years fighting this cancer. Got punched in the nose a little bit a couple weeks ago. Found out, got it in my eyes, lost my sight for 6 days, lost my hearing, and it gives you a different thought, different mentality, sets you back. But the one thing that I have to live for is the support I get from all of you. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for all you do for the city of St. Louis. The folks that are here, hold your cards high, because I know you're supporting yourself or somebody in this cancer fight. And I really appreciate the support my family have gotten in this community. Thank you again. Let's beat the hell out of this thing.
Kelly Chase, with the support of thousands of Blues fans behind him last night at Enterprise Center. The Blues will be back home tomorrow night against the Winnipeg Jets. Monday Night Football, Steelers over the Dolphins, 28-15. I'm Tom Ackerman on the Voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
No one remembers the tie, the sweater, or the pair of socks they received last year for the holidays, but they will remember the year they learned how to play the piano. Hi, this is Kathy from Lacefield Music. And every year in January, Lacefield Music opens their exciting and innovative 8-week adult piano classes to the public for the incredible price of only $29.99 for all 8 weeks. This class is usually $100, but in January, the classes will be $29.99 for all 8 weeks. With Lacefield Music's adult piano classes, you will learn how to read music, play your favorite songs, and you will play with both your right and your left hand the very first week. This year, instead of buying your loved one more things, buy them an experience and fulfill the dream of learning to play the piano. Class sizes are limited and are filling fast, so call 636-778-2070 for more information or go to lacefieldmusic.com. That's lacefieldmusic.com to sign up.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. 2025 was a turning point for America. House Republicans didn't just talk about the challenges facing our country, we delivered real solutions. I was proud to stand beside President Trump to deliver historic tax cuts, secure our border, and eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse in the government. This year, my office helped constituents by solving over 500 cases and returning to them nearly $1.8 million. I'm Congressman Bob Onder, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Christmas has arrived at Chesterfield Valley Nursery with hundreds of Christmas trees and our winter greens. Visit our garden center for your live holiday decor, from garland to poinsettias to custom live wreaths made right here at Chesterfield Valley Nursery. Open to the public, everyone is welcome. Stop by 16825 North Outer 40 Road in Chesterfield, directly past the popular entertainment district. Visit ChesterfieldValleyNursery.com.
Total Information AM. Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman on 104.1 FM KMOX.
At 6:50. Don't panic. Roger Brand is in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, really tough out in the Wentzville area, Debbie. We continue to have our crash on eastbound 64, just east of 70 with the lane blocked. I think it's the left lane that's blocked there. Southbound 61 is impacted by it. Your bumper, stop-and-go pockets, but it's backed up most of the way from south of W all the way down onto 64. And eastbound 70 has delays coming in from about David Holcomb Parkway. It's pretty solid by the time you get to Wentzville Parkway. More volume on southbound 79. South of Dyer Road down to North Main Street. It's busy. Still working this overturned vehicle crash. Westbound 364 Youngerman, only left lanes open. A short jam there. Thankfully, it's westbound and not eastbound. Northbound 270, slow through Tesson Ferry at Gravois and north of 44, most of the way up through Manchester. North of there, not as bad. Northbound 55, this incident at McNutt with lane blockage. That's a crash, I think. Has a jam back almost to Highway A now. And then it's still heavy. Bayless up to River de Pere. Westbound 6470 split to the Poplar slow. Next update at 6:58 from the overhead door company at St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers. Take it to Telly.
Your entire day, the check engine light. So I reached out to my go-to problem solver. Dad, what do? He didn't miss a beat. Take it to Telly, he said. So I did. But they didn't just fix my car. They fixed my day. Take it to Telly.
Pretty good driving weather today. It is warmer this afternoon with sun and a high of 54 degrees. You might even be able to roll the windows down today. Partly cloudy, low 36. Tomorrow, more sun than clouds, high 54 again. Thursday might get a little rain, perhaps a thunderstorm in the morning, and then mostly cloudy in the afternoon with a stray shower, high 55. We fall into the 40s in the afternoon for Thursday. Currently, it's clear and a little chilly in downtown St. Louis. It's 30 degrees.
The news continues at 6:53. We've learned more about a federal and state police effort in the Metro East and other parts of downstate Illinois. The 7-day fugitive apprehension detail was called Operation Safe Christmas. The federal prosecutor's office in Fairview Heights says agents made 63 arrests. seized 2.5 pounds of narcotics and collected $15,000 cash. It was during this operation that U.S. Marshals apprehended DJ Marshall, the man suspected of shooting a Granite City police officer.
A search underway for a suspect in a double murder in Cahokia Heights. 67-year-old Bruce Mason was found shot in a car Friday night, leading police to discover the body of 44-year-old Lynch White inside a nearby home the next day. Major Case Squad Captain Rob Thomason says if witnesses are afraid to come forward, there are safe ways to share what they know.
We'd like to definitely remind them about Crime Stoppers. They're allowed to leave an anonymous tip with a cash reward.
Police want to hear from anyone who had contact with the victims on December 12th.
A new Narcan vending machine will be unveiled today at St. Louis County headquarters in Clayton. County Executive Sam Page and Public Health Director Dr. Kanika Cunningham will do the unveiling at 11 this morning and talk about a troubling spike in overdose deaths in the county.
Pints of So Delicious frozen desserts have been recalled because they could contain small rocks. Here's correspondent Jesse Mitchell.
There's a nationwide recall of So Delicious dairy-free salted caramel cluster non-dairy frozen dessert pints because they could contain small stones and other hard objects. According to the FDA, no other flavors are affected. Consumers are urged to contact the company for a full refund.
The multi-state Powerball jackpot now growing to an estimated $1.25 billion for Wednesday night's drawing after no ticket matched all 6 numbers drawn Monday night. The U.S. has seen more than a dozen lottery jackpots exceed $1 billion since 2016. The record prize was $2.04 billion back in November of 2022. One of the 2 winning tickets for this past September's $1.78 million Powerball jackpot was sold in Missouri.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement. It's your birthday.
All right, if you would like a birthday or anniversary announced during this segment, all you have to do is email it to us at totalam@kmox.com, totalam@kmox.com. Happy birthday wishes going out to Dennis Andrew Jenkins of Belleville, Matt Brinkman from your friends at Tower Grove Park. Happy 9th anniversary to Katie and Frank Ladd. The birthday shout out sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family owned and top rated, RennerDoorSTL.com.
This is the best birthday ever.
Let's get our eyes checked. Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors. Hey, look, if 250 doctors go to Ophthalmology Associates, more than any other eye doctor in town, then we might want to consider Ophthalmology Associates also, don't you think? Eye exams are important, an important way to catch other eye issues. So consider scheduling your annual eye exam at Ophthalmology Associates. How do you do that? You go to youridoc.com. That's youridoc.com, and it'll pop up. All you have to do is put in your information. They'll get right back to you. You can call in as well, 314-966-5000. That's 314-966-5000. Mention me, Tom Ackerman. That'll help you along, I'm sure. Youridoc.com. Tell them that you want to get an annual eye exam, that you heard Tom talking about it on KMOX. Do that at Ophthalmology Associates. You may be assigned to Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Bersati, Andrew Royer. You're going to be very happy with any of them. They are wonderful, and so is everyone who works there. 12990 Manchester Road, just west of 270, Ophthalmology Associates.
Good morning. This is your Hardee's 2 for $5 breakfast mix and match alarm. We've got fluffy eggs and sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit ready. Or perhaps biscuit and gravy. Ooh, maybe a sweet cinnamon roll. Wake up and smell that sweet deal. Mix and match any 2 for just $5 for a limited time. Only at Hardee's. Don't snooze on the app. Snag juicy deals, order ahead, and get to work on time. Maybe. Exclusive app offers for registered My Rewards members only. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, good news, Debbie. They cleared the crash on eastbound 64 at 70, so both lanes are open now. Southbound 61, though, is slow south of W and jammed at Highway P, and eastbound 70 is jammed at David Hochul Parkway, so just be prepared. Only the left lane still open. Westbound 364 past the overturned vehicle crash at Youngerman. There's almost a half-mile back up there, and they're still working that crash north 55 near McNutt. Traffic's backed up south of 67. Next update is 710 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's clear, 30 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Tom Ackerman, and these are the stories making news.
Passing the St. Louis County budget seems to have its challenges. I'm Maria Aquino with why the public's been left out of the process.
I'm Debbie Monterrey. After CBS News, we'll hear from Michael Calhoun about turmoil in Webster Grove surrounding its city manager.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Sunshine today and becoming milder with a high of 54.
We'll take a look at what happened last night at Enterprise Center, including a moment with Kelly Chase that will tug at your heart. And certainly we surround Kelly, one of our very favorites in his fight against cancer. Much more at 7:15.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is the CBS World News Roundup Late Edition, sponsored by CVS Health.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Officials in Los Angeles are searching for answers a day after movie director Rob Reiner's son was taken into custody in his parents' murders at their home in Brentwood. Correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti.
The day before the murders, the father and son got into a heated argument at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party, according to two sources who were there. One source telling People magazine Nick was freaking everyone out, acting crazy, kept asking people if they were famous.
Sources tell CBS News the Reiner's daughter Romy found her mother and father with multiple stab wounds and called police. Officials in Rhode Island are hoping a $50,000 reward and new surveillance footage will help lead them to the person who staged a mass shooting at an Ivy League school in Providence. CBS's Tom Hansen is there.
Videos and photos released Monday show an unidentified person of interest wearing a hat, dark colors, and a mask largely obscuring his face, walking calmly near the Brown University campus Saturday.
And the sooner we can identify that person, the sooner we can, I think, blow this case open.
Now, investigators have returned to the scene, sifting through bushes and searching in dumpsters for any clues left behind more than 2 days after the attack.
2 students were killed. Authorities in Australia say the father-son gunmen who killed 15 people in an attack on a Hanukkah party had just returned from the Philippines, where they may have been trained by ISIS. Shayna Gutnick's father, who threw bricks at one shooter, was killed. She tells CBS News.
I feel betrayed by the government. I feel the signs were coming for a long, long time.
President Trump has filed a $10 billion defamation suit against the BBC.
The president claims a BBC documentary intentionally and maliciously spliced together 2 clips of the speech he delivered just before the Capitol riot on January 6th, 2021.
They had me saying things that I never said coming out. I guess they used AI or something.
Trump's lawyers argue the 2 clips in question were 55 minutes apart, and the BBC omitted Trump's statement calling for peace that day.
Talking about patriotism and all of the good things that I said, they didn't say that.
The BBC says it will defend itself against the lawsuit. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Soap fans canceled plans so they wouldn't miss the wedding of the decade.
I, Lucas Lorenzo Spencer, take thee, Laura Weber Baldwin.
Anthony Geary, who played Luke to Jeannie Francis Laura on General Hospital, has died. Their 1981 TV wedding was watched by 31 million people, making it the most watched episode in soap history. A family member says Geary died from complications of surgery. This is CBS News.
Through trusted relationships and national reach, CVS Health is uniquely positioned to simplify care. Learn more at cvshealth.com/investor day.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's chicken pot pie. The best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
It is now 7:04, and we've got clear skies. It's 30 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. This afternoon at 1 o'clock, the St. Louis County Council is holding its regular meeting, but why it's at 1 is not clear. KMOX's Maria Kina reports council members appear ready to pass a budget without seeking public input.
No county residents showed up for a public meeting earlier this month, and the council did not schedule another one. And county watchdog Tom Sullivan says the council is violating the law. In a letter to Chairwoman Ritter Days, he says if they provided the bills Friday, that would allow some public scrutiny and input, however limited.
Oh, I think I can safely say that I have never seen a county government as bad as this one is, and the county executive does not get along with the council, and the council does not get along with him. They seem like they want to kick each other any chance that they get.
The council and the county executive are not on the same page on most issues, and the budget is no different. Dr. Sam Page says he intends to veto the budget, but that's against the law. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
The Webster Gross Police Officers Association is accusing Webster's city manager of misleading the public about the city's budget crisis. We get more from Michael Calhoun.
The union, in a statement issued to the Webster Kirkwood Times, rejected the city manager's claim that the $1.2 million deficit was caused by the department being fully staffed. The union says the force is actually down about 12% from its authorized strength of 48 officers. The city manager responds by saying that she was disappointed by the union speaking out and noting that the city has hired 6 new police officers this year.
After being shut down due to safety concerns just before Thanksgiving, a downtown charter school is back open.
St. Louis Voices Academy has made the necessary changes to policy and security in order to reopen. Board Vice President Dr. Jasmine Nolan tells KMOX they completed over 700 tasks in order to reopen.
Intercoms, we did full drills for the staff. We did full trainings for the staff, full training for families. We did drill map presentations around every door, every building, every section.
But after shutting down for weeks, how many students did they lose?
Maybe 2%, maybe.
So you've retained most of your students then?
Yes.
Dr. Nolan also took exception to the report, saying that they had not conducted any safety drills this year, calling it a mischaracterization. She said full-time staff members had done safety drills and only substitutes had not. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
A truck driver from California is jailed without bond in Franklin County, accused of driving recklessly Sunday through the towns of New Haven, Washington, and Berger, forcing others off the road. New Haven police say they arrested 68-year-old Anthony Franklin on charges of aggravated fleeing and eluding, as well as driving a commercial vehicle with a disregard for safety. Officers say they also suspect Franklin was driving while impaired. Blood test results are pending.
Allegiant Air continues to be the main company flying passengers to and from Mid-America Airport in the metro east town of Mascoutah. Airport Director Darren James told the Spotlight on St. Clair County podcast that he recently met with 2 other budget-focused airlines in an effort to add more destinations.
In this case, we're talking to them about the low cost to operate at our airport, what type of passenger and catchment area that we have that includes West County and St. Louis as well, and the destinations we think that would flourish with their airlines.
James says Mid-America has set ridership records in 6 out of 11 months so far in 2025.
From the business desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. About 1,600 janitors in the St. Louis area have ratified a new 3-year union contract that includes a 43% increase to pension contributions, a 50% cut in monthly medical coverage premiums, and wage increases every year of the contract. The janitors are members of SEIU and work at hundreds of buildings in the area.
We've had traffic in Wentzville all morning. We'll see how that's going in other areas with Roger Brand. Next, it's 7:08.
We're coming up on Christmas very quickly here. Christmas has been and always has been a religious holiday for a lot of people throughout the world. And if not religious, just a celebration for family and friends. It's also the time of year where, while you might be enjoying or you like the holidays, there's people that are suffering, which this time of year is a really, really hard time of year for them. There's people that are suffering this Christmas because this could be their first Christmas without their loved one, husband, wife, mother, father, child, or their second, third, fourth, 10th, 12th Christmas. So for every one of us that believe in God, and we do pray, remember that in your prayers daily, and hopefully that helps and makes a difference and makes it a little bit better in somebody's life that is suffering right now. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. God bless.
Welcome to Willie's Wings, home of the secret sauce.
I'll take a dozen wings. Oh, by the way, I love that sauce. What's in it?
Can't tell you.
Why not?
It's a secret.
While many financial advisors claim to have the secret sauce, they don't. In fact, if their sauce is so good, why are they keeping it a secret? Steve All of the All Financial Group doesn't keep anything a secret. He knows there's much more to retirement planning than stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. He'll develop a strategy designed specifically for you. It's your own secret sauce for retirement. Call Steve today at 636-230-8824 for your personal portfolio x-ray. Call 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Fine, you want to know what's in the sauce?
Absolutely.
Tablespoon of paprika.
Really?
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Let's get you caught up on traffic and weather at 7:10. We start with Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, W, we got some trouble on 55 I've been talking about. I can finally see the crash now. It's in the left lane. It's northbound 55 or right at McNutt, basically there. So only one lane's open because that's the construction zone. It's a solid jam at 67 on northbound Highway 55. And then you've got the usual slow traffic from Bayless up to River to Pear. Northbound 270, slow both sides of Gravois. Big Bend up through Manchester's busy, but after that, you're good to go. Still have delays, still a backup, pockets of stop-and-go traffic, I guess we'll call it, on southbound 61, south of Highway W, down onto 64 through to about Lake St. Louis Boulevard due to an earlier crash we had in the area there. Eastbound 70 still busy, east of David Hokel Parkway into Wentzville Parkway, Lake St. Louis into Bryan Road, right around T.R. Hughes, and then 370 almost all the way into Zumbel. Westbound 364, they're still working the crash. The overturned vehicle west of Youngerman, only the left lane open. Traffic's jammed back near Harvester because of that one. Westbound 64 downtown, slow from the 70 split across the Poplar. And eastbound 64 east of 50 past Greenmount, a roadwork backup. Next update at 7:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, plenty of sunshine today and even milder this afternoon, high 54. Partly cloudy tonight, low 36. Tomorrow, more sun than clouds and mild, high 54. Thursday will become breezy, periods of rain and a thunderstorm in the morning, remaining mostly cloudy in the afternoon with a leftover shower in spots, the high 55 early, then temperature will fall into the 40s Thursday afternoon. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is clear out there, still cold to start the morning, 30 degrees downtown at the Arch.
By the way, we will have a pair of tickets to give away for Trans-Siberian Orchestra later this hour after Tom's next sportscast at 7:45. So be listening for your chance to win. Not now, but it's for the December 23rd Trans-Siberian Orchestra show at Enterprise Center. That's coming up in about 35 minutes.
It's 7:12. A 24-year-old Cedar Hill man is facing several charges following a double shooting over the weekend. Two men were shot outside of Whole Shot Saloon in Dittmer. The Jefferson County Sheriff reports Christopher Masson was involved in a verbal altercation with the victims while inside the business, and then they went outside.
That's when Masson allegedly got a gun from his vehicle, shot the victims, a 53-year-old and a 30-year-old. They are both in critical but stable condition. Masson is being held without bond.
In 2018, Missouri had about 7,000 untested kits with sexual assault evidence. State Attorney General Catherine Hanaway tells Missouri Net that it is no longer the case.
The great news is we are entirely caught up. It was great leadership by General Bailey and his team. They had a huge backlog of rape kits that had not been tested. All that testing has now been done.
Hanaway says her office is working to ensure that it partners with local prosecutors to get as many convictions as possible as a result of the evidence collected in the kits.
There's a first ever report from the Illinois Department of Public Health on alcohol use in the state.
One key finding in this report, the percentage of people killed in motor vehicle crashes in Illinois where a driver had alcohol in their bloodstream has risen 4% since 2019. In 2022, the most recent year cited in the report, 37% of fatal crashes involved a driver with a blood alcohol concentration of at least 0.01, with 32% at 0.08 or higher, the legal limit for driving under the influence in Illinois. The report also found 23% of high schoolers admit to drinking in the past month, with 11% saying they have had 4 or 5 drinks or more within a couple of hours, making them binge drinkers. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
It's 7:14 Total Information AM. It's hard for many to understand why people would stay out on the streets in bitter cold. Catherine Shaw of All Among Us says she spoke to people Sunday night who simply didn't know beds were available. Some are mentally ill. Others.
It doesn't make sense to some people to leave their tents and their sleeping bags to go walk 6 blocks to get to a bus that's going to take them to a shelter that some years they get there and there's no beds. They don't understand that this year there are beds, and their mayor's doing a wonderful job this year of providing shelter to the homeless.
Shaw said she saw about 45 people out Sunday. She provided many with sleeping bags, hand warmers, fleece-lined gloves, and thick socks. And for a $125 donation, she says, to allamong.us, she can keep a person alive during the next cold snap at 7:15. The Blues with a loss last night to the Nashville Predators, 5-2. It's been a tough year for the Blues. Here's defenseman Colton Parayko.
Obviously, I don't know if you necessarily want to say that we're exactly where we want to be, but I think as a group we know where we can be, and we got to focus on what's ahead, and that's just coming to the rink, getting better, continue to push each other, playing each other hard in practice, and building our team game and building everything. So, just continue to put together as many games as close to 60 minutes as possible.
The Blues have 2 games this week still remaining at home. They play Winnipeg tomorrow and the Rangers on Thursday. And last night, Hockey Fights Cancer Night. Parayko, while speaking, wearing a white Blues cap with a purple blue note and a white hoodie with a purple blue note. Hockey Fights Cancer Night, and the featured speaker was Kelly Chase himself, the beloved broadcaster fighting cancer for the last 2 years.
Different mentality sets you back, but the one thing that I have to live for is the support I get from all of you. So, thank you so much. Thank you so much for all you do for the city of St. Louis. The folks that are here, hold your cards high, because I know you're supporting yourself or somebody in this cancer fight. And I really appreciate the support my family have gotten in this community. Thank you again. Let's beat the hell out of this thing.
The enforcer himself, Kelly Chase, and the fans holding up cards with names of those they are supporting and thinking about. If you would like to make a donation to Hockey Fights Cancer, you can go to stlouisblues.com, and also in that location, you can make a donation to Blues for Kids if you wish. NFL last night, it was the Steelers over the Dolphins 28-15. That's back-to-back wins for the Steelers, keeping them on top of the AFC North. We'll take a look at the Cardinals. They were quiet yesterday. We'll see what they're up to as the holidays approach and what Chaim Bloom thinks might happen this week in terms of trades. It's 7:18 on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original, present 100 years of KMOX.
Dr. Martin Luther King.
There for every headline.
This is KMOX, the news voice of St. Louis. Martin Luther King, father of nonviolence and the civil rights movement, was killed by an assassin's bullet tonight in Memphis, Tennessee.
The assassination of Dr. King tonight demonstrates to what depth some people in this great nation of ours have fallen.
Dr. Martin Luther King was my friend, as he was to hundreds of clergymen and thousands of church leaders in this city who heard him gladly when we brought him here. I express on behalf of all his friends here our deepest sympathy.
There for every headline, every heartbreak, every heartbeat. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Brought to you by Together Credit Union. Achieve more with competitive rates on savings and lending. Visit togethercu.org.
For 100 years, KMOX has been part of St. Louis. Now, Together Credit Union is helping celebrate that legacy. Starting in November, visit any Together Credit Union branch to pick up a KMOX 100th anniversary commemorative ornament for just $5 while supplies last. Each ornament supports Children's Miracle Network of Greater St. Louis. Together Credit Union, honoring 100 years of KMOX, the voice of St. Louis, and Children's Miracle Network of Greater St. Louis, improving the health of all children.
This is Amy Mark Scores, chair of this year's Red Kettle campaign. Christmas reminds us of the challenges faced by our neighbors in need, basic needs we sometimes take for granted. When you give with joy to the Salvation Army, you transform lives. You put food on the table and provide warm beds. You give veterans and seniors purpose. You help a child experience the joy of Christmas. And 90 cents of every dollar donated goes directly to critical social services. Bring joy to the world today. Visit salarmy.us/Amy Mark Scores.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
7:20. This is Total Information AM. Today is Tuesday, December 16th. I'm Debbie Monterrey, along with Tom Ackerman and Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, we still got this crash or stall. It looked like a crash originally. It doesn't really matter. The left lane's blocked. I can still see that. This is the one that's northbound 55 at McNutt. Traffic's a solid jam back to A, but it's actually slow south of 67 about a half mile or so. So pretty significant backup there on northbound 55. Once you get around that, you've still got slow traffic from about Bayless up to River to Pear, North 270 from 55 through Gravois, 44 up through Manchester. That's all pretty slow. They cleared that crash on 64 at Prospect, but southbound 61 still has some backed up traffic between W and P, and then Wensville Parkway onto 64, which is slow all the way to 364 now. Westbound 364, by the way, still working that crash west of Youngerman, trying to get that wrapped up. There's still a backup through Harvester. Eastbound 364 west of K into Gudermuth is heavy. Eastbound 70 slow, approaching David Hochul Parkway all the way to 64. Couple of pockets, A to Lake St. Louis Boulevard, east of Bryan Road into 79, busy again through Cave Springs and 94 to 5th Street. If you're on downtown, the run to the Poplars, 64 from the 70 splits of the Poplars slow. Eastbound 64 jams east of 50 past Greenmount. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
That weather forecast, we're looking at a clear sky right now, and that sun is going to stay out all day long. We are going to have a high of 54 degrees with plenty of sunshine, says AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Partly cloudy, low 36 tonight, and then tomorrow we're on repeat. More sun than clouds, a high of 54 again. Thursday could see a little rain, perhaps a thunderstorm in the morning, and then mostly cloudy in the afternoon with a stray shower, and temperatures fall from 55 early down into the 40s in the afternoon. It's 30 degrees right now.
Chuck's Boots, the Midwest's largest boot stores. Boots for every walk of life. Rugged work boots, stylish fashion, comfortable hiking boots, cowboy classics, uniform boots, and motorcycle gear. Chuck's Boots in Fenton and St. Peters. chucksboots.com.
The news continues at 7:22. Amtrak posting a notice overnight that Lincoln Service Train 306 from St. Louis to Chicago was scrapped. Due to equipment not being available, Amtrak said passengers would have the option of being provided alternative transportation or rebooking for a later train.
The nonprofit Action St. Louis is joining around 90 other organizations from 10 states advocating for FEMA reform in D.C. this week.
It's met with Missouri U.S. Congressman Sam Graves' legislative team, who's working on a bill to make FEMA its own agency and to help get funding to disaster victims. Organizer Melanie Marie tells KMOX they and others are pushing for major reforms to FEMA.
In St. Louis, I think the maximum was $46,000 per home, and roughly a dozen people of 5,000 receive the maximum. So there's just something wrong here with the evaluation process, with the efficiency, and all the things, and it seems to be a widespread issue across the country.
They've also met with the staff of Congressman Wesley Bell and Bob Onder, along with Senator Josh Hawley's team. They also plan to stop by the offices of Congresswoman Ann Wagner and Senator Eric Schmidt. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
I'm Maria Kina. One of the survivors of the May 16th tornado is Dr. Michael McElmore. He lost his roof and his porch that day.
And we have lived in the same home throughout the duration of the recovery process. And while we knew there was a possibility of severe weather that day, we could not have imagined how that afternoon would change our lives forever. And so many systems failed us that day.
The first failure, the tornado sirens failed to sound. The initial assessment of damage was $1.6 billion. It's estimated to have doubled now. Then the May 16th tornado was not declared a major disaster by the Trump administration until June 10th.
Even then, Secretary Noem's new policy on federal disaster assistance meant that the work that FEMA had traditionally done in response to disasters was left up to the community to figure out.
McElmore supports the 2025 FEMA Act, creating an independent FEMA and taking what he calls the political aspect out of a disaster response.
Sadness, fear, frustration, and hope. Just some of the emotions in the air for the Illinois governor's mansion's menorah lighting ceremony Monday night.
Once again, hatred has taken the lives of our brethren.
The weekend shooting in Australia that killed 15 people celebrating Hanukkah was on the minds of many, braving the cold outside of the governor's mansion in Springfield.
Jews killed and maimed for putting their faith on display is a harrowing reminder of the persistent forces of hate and anti-Semitism that we face.
But with the lighting of the state's official menorah also came a message of peace and unity.
If we work together, the light brings hope and healing and better days ahead.
Governor Pritzker also vowed to ensure Illinois remains a place where all faiths can worship and celebrate safely. Andy Dane, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
And for something a little lighter, a moment in the spotlight for a Kirkwood native.
Our next guest has his comedy special, The Champ, streaming now on the Nateland YouTube channel, making his Tonight Show debut. Please welcome the very funny Greg Warren.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is great. All right. I'm not a good driver. I hit stuff. Cars, primarily. I pay a lot for insurance, but I use it. They're always like, we're going to send you an insurance card. Stop calling it a card. It's a piece of paper. I want a card. $3,500 I gave you guys last year. You can afford to send me a card. At least laminate the card. The library laminates their cards. I don't think the whole library system made $3,500 last year. They don't send you a card. They send you a piece of paper, and it's got a dotted line on it with a picture of a scissors. No, you cut it. I'm not cutting it. Not for $3,500. If I do cut it, I'm not cutting on that stupid line. I'll cut whatever shape happens to come out. The cop's going to be like, can I see your insurance swan? Is that a swan? Thank you.
You gotta love it. Greg Warren, always putting on a nice show and representing us well. It's 7:27. Time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
McKelvey Homes excited to introduce their newest community, the Reserve at Wildwood. What an incredible spot. More than just a place to live, the Reserve at Wildwood, which is the southwest corner of 109 and 150 acres. It is a place to thrive, thoughtfully planned with families and outdoor lovers in mind. This community, the Reserve at Wildwood from McKelvey Homes, features a private playground, rain gardens, miles of walking trails, scenic green spaces, the most sought-after areas of West County, a charming suburban atmosphere, easy access to nature, recreation, modern amenities. You're going to be living near the Wildwood Town Center, local parks like Rockwood's Reservation, Babbler State Park, not to mention you're near top-rated Rockwood schools. Just a great place for families to grow and make lasting memories. From McKelvey Homes, the Reserve at Wildwood. Check it out online at McKelveyHomes.com. McKelvey Homes is well established. They're the oldest home builder in Missouri, going back to 1898. For more information, check it out online, McKelveyHomes.com. Move up to McKelvey.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
It's easy to feel apprehensive about getting screened for cancer or to just keep putting it off. But Siteman Cancer Center wants to remind you how important it is, especially after the age of 40. And they also want you to know how easy it is to get it done. GetScreenedNow.com has all the information you need on cancers like prostate, breast, colon, lung cancer. You can also find out your risk of disease by answering just a few simple questions. And then you can find one of the hundreds of screening locations in the area. Even if you're a little farther out, there is probably a place near you. You have heard this before, but catching cancer early dramatically increases the odds of a successful treatment, especially with so many cancers showing up earlier in life. So do not be intimidated. Siteman will make the process as simple as possible. GetScreenedNow.com. Do it for your family and friends who count on you. Do it for yourself. Visit GetScreenedNow.com.
It is 7:30. We've got sunshine, blue skies, 30 degrees right now in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. We have Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, there's still no change, unfortunately, northbound 55, this crash, and maybe a couple of them because the left lane's blocked at like 2 separate points about 50 yards apart from each other. Doesn't really matter. Left lane still closed at McNutt. Northbound 55 is slow midway up from 61 to 67, and that's where it jams up to that crash scene. After that, northbound 55 backed up as you ramp onto North 270. All lanes are backed up from the Union Road overpass up through River to Perry, a little backup at Virginia. North 270 from 55, just generally slow all the way to Manchester, and then right around Clayton Road up to Ladue, a little busy one more time. Eastbound 70 getting better, but still bogged down approaching Wentzville Parkway into 64. From Lake St. Louis all the way into 79, Cave Springs, Zumbell area to 5th Street, a couple of slow spots there. Coming south out of Lincoln County on southbound 61, you've got a solid jam from Highway P onto 64, goes jams through Prospect. It's slow all the way to 364. A couple of slowdowns east of Boone's Crossing through Clarkson. Eastbound Highway 70, east of that run, like I said, is still slow. Southbound 79 is backed up. In fact, we're backed up into Old Monroe from north of Highway C most of the way down to North Main Street, bumper to bumper, so it's really tough through Lincoln County. Like I said, westbound 64 downtown, Ball Avenue to the Poplar, eastbound 6450 past Greenmount is on the brakes. Next update is 740 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We have plenty of sunshine in store for us all day today, and it's going to warm up to 54 degrees. Same for tomorrow, more sun than clouds, 54. But then Thursday, We could start the day with some rain and maybe even a December thunderstorm. We'll hit 55 degrees on Thursday, and then temperatures start falling back into the 40s throughout the afternoon. It's 30 out there right now.
It's 7:32. St. Louis police have released the name of the 38-year-old shot and killed last Thursday afternoon in Tower Grove South. Kevin Carnes was found in the 3700 block of Winnebago. Police arrested a 19-year-old man and charged him with first-degree murder. Police have not released the suspect's name.
The Major Case Squad has activated 20 investigators to solve a double homicide in Cahokia Heights, but they're hitting a wall regarding the victims' movements. 67-year-old Bruce Mason and 44-year-old Linnea Joyce White were found dead at a home on Walnut Street this weekend.
Investigators say they need to speak with anyone who saw them the day before the bodies were found. Major Case Squad Captain Rob Thomason.
If they had any contact with either of our victims on the 12th leading up to this incident, we ask that they also contact us, even if it seems trivial.
Police say Mason was found inside a vehicle Friday night, while White was discovered inside the home on Saturday.
A new Narcan vending machine will be unveiled today at St. Louis County headquarters in Clayton. County Executive Sam Page and Public Health Director Dr. Kanika Cunningham will do the unveiling at 11 this morning and talk about a troubling spike in overdose deaths in the county. Something intended to protect some first responders could actually be endangering their health.
Researchers at Duke University, including Heather Stapleton, have found that some firefighter gear is made with chemicals called brominated flame retardants that could pose a health risk to the first responders.
This is a flame retardant that has a chemical structure that's very similar to a flame retardant that is now banned from use due to its persistence and toxicity.
The study is the first published research in the U.S. to investigate and document the use of brominated flame retardants in firefighter turnout gear. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
It's 7:34, and the news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Your Money Minute next.
Chris and Amy standing up for the Lou.
We had a texter suggest that we use some of the Rams money to buy a high rise in Singapore and let it go
down. And load it up with asbestos and
just let
mold.
that sit there. See how they feel about it.
Let's not be vindictive. No, let's be really vindictive. Screw Singapore if they're going to do this to us.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, taking receipts weekdays at 9 on KMOX.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
It is 7:36, and it's time for your money report, sponsored this hour by Busey Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. PayPal is looking to become a bank. The digital payments firm has filed applications with regulators to make that move. It's looking to take advantage of the Trump administration's openness to financial technology companies entering the banking system. PayPal says the bank will help boost its small business lending. PayPal Bank also expects to offer savings accounts for customers. Jobs day on Wall Street is back after delays due to the government shutdown. Economists project 50,000 positions were added to the payrolls last month. That report is expected at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Checking on trading, stock futures are lower as we wait on that data building on yesterday's losses. And Elon Musk's wealth has reached a new high, topping $600 billion for the first time. According to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, the world's richest person is worth almost $638 billion. Musk is planning to take his rocket company SpaceX public next year. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Hey guys, Dave and Rach here for our good friends at Smart Mouth. So it is unique by the very definition of the word. It's the only mouth rinse out there with 2 chemicals that combine to prevent bad breath for 24 hours a day with just 2 rinses a day.
Never have bad breath again. You can find Smart Mouth locally at Schnucks and Deerbergs or at Walgreens, Walmart, and Amazon. Visit smartmouth.com to snag a special discount on your next Smart Mouth purchase. That's smartmouth.com/Glover.
Your Money Minute, sponsored by Busey Bank.
This is the run my own business dream. This is the college is paid for dream. This is the retire early dream. This is Busey, where your dreams and possibilities become moments. Through trusted guidance and expertise, through lifelong relationships. Because we're here to help you achieve the life you've always envisioned. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley for i3 Broadband. This is the season of joy, and it's time that your internet provides that for you. Other service providers will tell you that their internet is fiber powered. That's different than i3 that delivers true fiber internet into your home. It's so reliable, the pricing is crazy, and they give you a 2-year price lock with 0 commitment. i3 is your hometown local internet provider, here for you for every way you celebrate the season. Head to i3broadband.com/radio or call 877-976-0711.
Life is better together. At Fairwinds River's Edge, dynamic activity calendars, excellent meal options, and an abundance of services come together to create a strong sense of community where meaningful connections are cultivated. Here, you can trust that there will always be something fun and social to do. It's not just a place to live, it's a place to belong. To see what's happening this month, visit us on Facebook or online, fairwindsriversedge.com.
Hey guys, Glover here. You guys have heard me talk about my volunteering with Bethesda Hospice, but there's so much more Bethesda offers older adults. For a South County retirement community, for example, you can't do better than Bethesda Terrace. Residents and families love the gorgeous backyard with its patios and water features, exceptional dining, pet-friendly, plenty of activities, and frequent happy hours. Bethesda Terrace is the perfect location for your retirement years. In fact, residents often say they wish they'd moved in sooner. Learn more about Bethesda Terrace at BethesdaHealth.org/Glover.
For residential and commercial heating repairs, service, maintenance, or installation, contact Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation. With over 50 years of HVAC service, get in your comfort zone this winter. Visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
It's men's Billikens basketball Wednesday night as they face Bethune-Cookman. Pre-game 6:45, tip at 7 on your home for Billikens basketball. 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 7:40, and don't forget, after Tom's next sportscast, be listening for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra music for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see them on the 23rd. Right now, you can hear Roger Brand. He is live from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yay, and you can hear me say that you still got problems down in Festus on 55, Debbie. Unfortunately, no change here with that left lane being shut down at McNutt because of this crash. Traffic is backed up south of 67, solid jam most of the way through there. It's still backed up from the Union Road overpass up to River to Pear. North 270, 55 all the way up to Ladouze, heavy. South 270 approaching Oliveville, Ladouze, slow. Eastbound 70, east of David Hochul Parkway into 64. East of Highway A all the way into 79 and Zumbel to the Blanchette Bridge. That's all slow. Southbound 61 delays at Highway P. Southbound 79 from Old Monroe most of the way down through Hackman is bumper to bumper. Eastbound 64, once you get off of 61 there, up to the boulevard, it's heavy. Boone's Crossing through Clarkson and around the Innerbelt. Westbound 64, Science Center to Hanley's busy. Downtown westbound 64 at Ball Avenue. Eastbound 64, 50 most of the way to 158's backed up. Next update at 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Metro Transit.
Looks like autumn has arrived, and all fall long, a Metro Transit Day Pass is still just $5, which makes you just one click away from your one-day mental health fall getaway. Plan your trip at metrostlouis.org.
We get all the seasons around here, AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. It is going to feel like fall, and it felt like winter just 2 days ago.
Yeah, temperatures on Sunday couldn't get out of the teens, started in the single digits. Yesterday, we jumped up by almost 30 degrees to 46, and we're going to tack on another 8 to 10 today and tomorrow with a good deal of sunshine both today and even a fair amount of sunshine for a while tomorrow. 54 today's high. Tonight's, though, will be in the mid-30s. Tomorrow's high again about 54. Now, we get to Thursday. A front will be approaching and moving through the area, so we get rainy weather in the morning, and then the temperature starts to fall behind the front of the afternoon, 55 going down into the 40s. A cold day on Friday with sunshine, or high only 38, but then we quickly recover back into the 50s with some sunshine to start the weekend. And it looks like the lead up to Christmas is going to be pretty mild across the area. 31 at St. Peter's, 30 in Florissant. With sunshine, it's now 33 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 7:43. Congressman Mike Bost says he has introduced a bill to bring $1.76 billion worth of improvements to the VA Medical Center at Jefferson Barracks. The Southern Illinois Republican says veterans in his area and the entire St. Louis region deserve the care, support, and dignity they have earned. Some of the improvements include expanded clinical space as well as dedicated mental health and substance abuse facilities.
Also, there's been a large decline over the last several decades in the number of military veterans who own their own businesses. During a U.S. House Committee hearing, West Central Missouri Congressman Mark Alford said just over 4% of military veterans are business owners today, compared to nearly half of all veterans that returned from World War II and Korea.
Our veterans today are not less capable than they were 70 years ago. In fact, I think they're more capable than they were 70 years ago, but we no longer support them in the way that we did 70 years ago.
A bill co-sponsored by Alford would explore ways to make credit more readily available to military veterans wanting to start businesses. The U.S. House passed the bill in February, but the U.S. Senate has not yet.
Additional videos released in the hunt for the Brown University shooter.
After releasing an initial suspect in the Brown University shooting over the weekend, authorities have now released 3 new videos of the man they believe carried out the attack. In the videos, which were shot about 2 hours before the shooting, the man was wearing a mask and a two-tone jacket. Although his face is not visible, the videos provide the clearest images yet of the suspect. Providence Police Chief Colonel Oscar Perez.
Again, we're asking for the public assistance in identifying this individual that we're about to show you, and we'll release this video on Twitter.
A lack of security cameras in the area of the shooting is hampering investigators' efforts, and they are appealing to the public to come forward with any security camera videos the public may have.
To make sure that we identify this individual and bring him to justice.
I'm Lisa Dwyer.
The Site Enterprise Center, the home of the St. Louis Blues, and it wasn't just a hockey game, it was Hockey Fights Cancer Night. Kelly Chase.
I want to thank you all for being here tonight and supporting cancer cause. I've got my great doctor, Ramsey Abood, with me, our old captain, Garth Bookshire, and our older captain, Bernie Federico. First of all, thank you, and as all of you know, I've been having a little battle here the last few years fighting this cancer. Got punched in the nose a little bit a couple weeks ago. Found out, got it in my eyes, lost my sight for 6 days, lost my hearing, and it gives you a different thought, different mentality, sets you back. But the one thing that I have to live for is the support I get from all of you. So, thank you so much. Thank you so much for all you do for the city of St. Louis. The folks that are here, hold your cards high, because I know you're supporting yourself or somebody in this cancer fight. And I really appreciate the support my family have gotten in this community. Thank you again. And let's beat the hell out of this thing.
Last night was much bigger than a hockey game. Blues coach Jim Montgomery, after the 5-2 loss to the Predators, was asked about his team. He, after talking about the problems, stopped and said, it's Christmas season, so I want to talk about some positives. One, Dalibor Dvorsky, who scored 2 goals, and
seeing my old teammate, Kelly Chase. You know, when you think about Blues players and why this city and the fans love Blues players, it's because of the fight inside of players like Kelly Chase. And I was incredibly lucky to be, and I'm very thankful for the season I had to play with him, where I could learn from someone that competes like him in a night out, night in, night out for his teammates. And to see him up there and the message he delivered, I got a little emotional listening to him. And how can you not? Because you got to love the man.
In November 2023, Chase was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia. That leukemia is in remission, but he is still receiving chemotherapy treatment. He tells Jeremy Rutherford of The Athletic he has GVHD, graft versus host disease, a serious complication that can occur after a stem cell transplant. He said, quote, "My enzymes are fighting with my donor, and it's in my brain and my brain fluid. Rarely does it go by the brain stem, and it did. So I've got it in there, and I've just got to continue to fight to try to get it out of me." He tells Rutherford it's like having eczema on the inside of your body, and it's got to fight its way out. And right now, it's fighting its way out through my throat, my hearing, and my eyes. He said it is painful, just painful. It's tough because you lose part of your sight, and you're like, okay, I can live with it. But then when I lost it completely, it scared the hell out of me. He said, I cried for 3 days. Chase had leukemia on his optic nerve, and less than 2 weeks ago, he lost 75% of his vision in his right eye. He continues to fight, and so do we, right by his side. I'm Tom Ackerman on the Voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today, and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120. Visit Lance, DRURY law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This is Justin Brown with Krenz Financial Group. For over 6 decades, we've helped St. Louis families and businesses plan with purpose and live with confidence. Is your financial advisor proactive or reactive? If your strategy or service feels stagnant or misaligned, it may be time for a change. Our defined, proactive approach to investments and communication keeps you informed and prepared for what's ahead. Let's talk about what makes us different and how a more engaged advisor can help you reach your goals. Your goals, our mission. Start today at kfgadvisors.com.
Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services. Member FINRA/SIPC. Krenz Financial Group is not a broker-dealer.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra is back for their yearly show at the holidays, and they're doing a show December 23rd at 3 p.m. at Enterprise Center. And if you're caller number 5 right now, we will give you a pair of tickets to see that show. The number to call is 314-955-1120. 314-955-1120. Caller number 5 gets the tickets. Good luck.
I hear from sellers all the time that they fear they have missed out on the selling market. They are so relieved to learn September, October, and November are strong selling months. With low inventory and hopefully lower interest rates, this fall will be a hot one for real estate. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. You may have heard me say, why pay more than 4 for years? Now it's why pay more than 2, saving you even more money. Call me 314-441-4444. And remember, why pay more than 2?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri, Kansas, and Nevada.
Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM KMOX.
And Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, we still have the left lane shut down northbound 55 at McNutt because of the crash. It's a solid jam at 67. Once you get past there, it's still bogged down from the Union North overpass to River to Pear. North 270 still slow from 55 all the way to Ladue. South 270, 364 to Ladue is busy. Southbound 61 jam from Highway P down to almost Lake St. Louis Boulevard. It's heavy to 364. Boone's Crossing to Timberlake. East of Ballas, a couple of slowdowns through the Interbelt. Westbound 64 on the brakes. Science Center to Clayton Skinker. It's slow all the way to Hanley. Eastbound 70 east of David Hopeland to Wentzville Parkway is still busy. Highway A all the way to TR Hughes, Cave Springs, most of the way to Blanchette around the airport. It's a little slow. Downtown westbound 64 from almost 25th Street to the Poplar 5570 at 203. And eastbound 64 still jammed east of 50 past Greenmount. Next update at 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We are going to have some really nice weather this week. Today and tomorrow, we're going to see sunshine, 54 degrees both days, 55 on Thursday with maybe a thunderstorm before temperatures start to drop Thursday afternoon. Right now, though, tons of sunshine, 30 degrees in downtown St. Louis.
You better think twice before using a popular app to find a place to host your big holiday festivities.
Rocking around the Christmas tree.
But there's no rocking around the Airbnb.
It's a global ban on parties for 5 years now. And it's something that I think that we are incredibly proud of. We're very proud of the success that we've seen with the technology that we've deployed.
That technology that Senior Manager for Public Policy Justin Wessett is talking about is what he calls machine learning, let's call it AI, to catch potential house partiers from the time of booking. It can detect when an adult is booking for a minor. It also sends up red flags when a booker lives right around the corner. Wesson says the party ban has been a big success.
2024, we were able to block approximately 300 people from booking listings in LA that were flagged as potentially being party stays or cause of disturbance. That number jumped up. It's 2,500 total when we're talking about the state of California.
Airbnb says party reports are down 50% since it implemented the ban, and that 99% of its bookings last year had no report of a community disturbance. I'm Brian Ping.
Hey, by the way, congratulations going out to Diane in Maryland Heights. She's going to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra. We'll have another chance for you to win coming up in the next day of the show, which would be Wednesday.
All right. Well, congratulations. Are you looking for some gifts for the techie in your life? There are options big and small, cheap and pricier. Here's Susie Jessup and tech guru Ian Scherer uncovering some hidden tech gems for Christmas.
The first gift under $100 is a step back in time.
Going for kind of the nostalgia feel is these Polaroid style cameras that are out there. Fujifilm makes one. They call it the instant camera. They definitely are not going to be the super high quality images that a lot of our phones can produce these days, but these things are really fun.
This one is for the coffee fanatic in your life.
One of my wife's favorite gifts that I got for her one year was a mug. And I know you're thinking, what? A mug? Why? But this is a company called Ember. They make smart mugs because, of course, everything has to be smart these days. It is a ceramic mug that sits on a hot plate and actually warms your tea or coffee on its own.
Wow. Well, you and I use Yetis for that, so keeps it hot the whole time. But that's an interesting, innovative product there at 756.
KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's chicken pot pie. The best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/life.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. 2025 was a turning point for America. House Republicans didn't just talk about the challenges facing our country, we delivered real solutions. I was proud to stand beside President Trump to deliver historic tax cuts, secure our border, and eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse in the government. This year, my office helped constituents by solving over 500 cases and returning to them nearly $1.8 million. I'm Congressman Bob Onder, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Here is Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, southbound 79 still a solid jam, unfortunately, from the Quiver River all the way down to about Hackman Road. It's still solid bumper to bumper. Southbound 61 looks better than that, although it's still slow from Highway P down onto 64. Actually, Wentzville Parkway to about 364 is stop-and-go pocket. Still slow from Long Road to about Timberlake and east of Lindbergh, heavy all the way in through Big Bend. Westbound 64, Science Center to Hanley's, heavy. South 270, Dorset down to Ladue, slow. North 270, north of 55 to Ladue, busy all the way through. North 55, they cleared that crash at McNutt, but there's still a jam. It's from 67 most of the way up and still backed up. Union Road overpass to River to Pear. Westbound 64 jammed, Law to the Poplar. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's turning into a nice morning, isn't it? Sun is out. It's clear. It's 31 degrees. Going to warm up to 54, says Joe Lundberg. I'm Tom Ackerman. How using AI shopping assistants could help and hurt your brain.
I'm Debbie Monterrey. Ford cutting back on electric vehicles. We'll go in depth with Detroit auto reporter Jeff Gilbert.
Megan Lynch will also have a story on if you're worried your kids will be couch potatoes. We'll give you some tips to help keep them active.
A new certification program coming to a local university will help you get your foot in the door of TV and film production.
I'll be back with Chris Raji and Bernie Miklas on the Gas House Gang at noon. This is Total Information AM. Megan is next.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. A belated update on the economy. Just released government data shows job gains last month, with the overall picture a little grimmer. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
In the month of October, the economy lost 105,000 jobs. That was primarily due to workers in the federal government who chose to take the early retirement. In November, job creation bounced back with 64,000 jobs. Still, the unemployment rate rose to 4.6%.
That rate, its highest since 2021. With prosecutors deciding on formal charges against 32-year-old Nick Reiner, we're learning more about the events that led up to the murders of his parents, director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle, at their home in L.A. CBS's Adam Yamaguchi.
Two sources that we've spoken to who attended the party hosted by Conan O'Brien on Saturday night say that Rob and Nick got into an argument at the party.
A source tells People magazine Nick was, quote, acting crazy and kept asking people if they were famous. Last night on Jimmy Kimmel, former First Lady Michelle Obama revealed she and her husband, the former president, were supposed to meet up with the Reiners the night they were found murdered. We're learning more about the father-son gunmen who killed 15 people at a Hanukkah celebration on Australia's Bondi Beach. CBS's Anna Corin is in Sydney.
Authorities have confirmed that those two gunmen were motivated by ISIS. They had also recently returned from the Philippines, from an area that is known as a hotbed for extremism.
One was killed by police, the other tackled by a bystander. Something to consider as you holiday shop online. A new study finds porch pirates steal 250,000 packages a day.
The home safety research company SafeWise estimates the total value of the packages stolen in the past year at $15 billion. New Jersey Democratic Congressman Josh Gottheimer's new bill would make the theft of UPS, FedEx, or Amazon packages the same federal crime as stealing U.S. mail.
Stealing any package will carry the same federal punishments across the board.
Up to 10 years in prison. Tanya Shepard had packages stolen from her porch in Atlanta.
I do try to be more mindful about knowing when things are coming.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Get down on the floor with your little one. Read them a bedtime story. Research shows it pays off. Here's CBS's Michael George.
An NYU Langone health study showed a program that encouraged parents to interact more with their babies had a positive impact that lasted for years. The results were particularly beneficial for low-income families.
Dow futures down 30. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. See why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive to stay protected on the road. See for yourself at Progressive.com.
Sunny skies, 30 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Tuesday, December 16th. I'm Megan Lynch. A passerby called 911 before sunrise, alerting authorities to a house fire in rural Wentzville. That person could see it from Interstate 70. Fire Captain Brian Nothes told our news partners at Fox 2 there were 40-foot flames when crews arrived.
The house was fully involved, so there's no space inside the house where we couldn't see fire at the time. We do not know what's caused it. We're going to investigate. We got an investigator coming out.
The house on Gilmore Lane has been completely destroyed. Firefighters from more than 3 departments battled that blaze. A secret meeting about the region's new $50 million police training center may have violated Missouri law. The Post-Dispatch uncovers that a committee tasked with choosing the site and design for the facility met November 10th at the private estate of retired developer Bob Brinkman. No public notice was given for the meeting, which included top law enforcement officials from St. Louis, Jefferson, and Franklin counties. The commission's attorney called the lack of notice and oversight. Transparency advocates tell the Post the committee is legally required to follow open meetings laws. The St. Louis County Council holding a 1 o'clock meeting this afternoon, and the number one topic is the budget. However, a local watchdog says the council is violating laws with this move.
Tom Sullivan sent a letter to Council Chairwoman Ritter Day concerned that they have not given advanced or 24 hours notice as required by law when they're going to make substantial changes to legislation, specifically the county budget.
They moved out the meeting time to 1 o'clock. For what reason, I don't know. But at any rate, regardless of what the time is, they need to give proper notification. And it doesn't look like they're going to do that.
The county is facing an $80 million plus deficit. The county executive wants voters to approve an internet tax, and he wants to use a portion of the Rams money to pay down the deficit. The majority of the council, though, not on board with that. Sam Page is threatening to veto the budget. However, county law does not allow that. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Union officials say police officers in Webster Groves are looking for jobs elsewhere due to poor city management. More from Michael Calhoun.
The police association tells the Webster Kirkwood Times that the discord comes as the city council considers asking voters for a sales tax increase to fix a budget shortfall. The union calls the tax proposal irresponsible and argues the city should not ask for more public safety money when positions remain unfilled. The city manager disputes this, pointing to a new bike unit and a pipeline of 46 new applicants as proof that the police department is moving forward.
We've learned more about a federal and state police effort in the Metro East and other parts of downstate Illinois. The 7-day fugitive apprehension detail was called Operation Safe Christmas. The federal prosecutor's office in Fairview Heights says agents made 63 arrests, seized 2.5 pounds of narcotics, and collected $15,000 cash. It was during the operation that U.S. Marshals apprehended DJ Marshall, the man suspected of shooting a Granite City police officer. A search underway for a suspect in a double homicide case in Cahokia Heights. 67-year-old Bruce Mason found shot in a car Friday night, leading police to discover the body of 44-year-old Linnea Joyce White inside a nearby home the next day. Major Case Squad Captain Rob Thomason says if witnesses are afraid to come forward, there are safe ways to share what they know.
We'd like to definitely remind them about Crime Stoppers. They're allowed to leave an anonymous tip with a cash reward.
866-371-TIPS is that number. Police want to hear from anyone who had contact with the victims on December 12th. Sadness, fear, frustration, and hope. Just some of the emotions in the air for the Illinois Governor's Mansion's menorah lighting ceremony Monday night.
Once again,
Hatred has taken the lives of our brethren.
The weekend shooting in Australia that killed 15 people celebrating Hanukkah was on the minds of many, braving the cold outside of the governor's mansion in Springfield.
Jews killed and maimed for putting their faith on display is a harrowing reminder of the persistent forces of hate and anti-Semitism that we face.
But with the lighting of the state's official menorah also came a message of peace and unity.
If we work together, the light brings hope and healing and better days ahead.
Governor Pritzker also vowed to ensure Illinois remains a place where all faiths can worship and celebrate safely. Andy Day, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
From the business desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com, the multi-state Powerball jackpot growing to an estimated $1.25 billion for Wednesday night's drawing after no ticket matched all 6 numbers drawn Monday night. The U.S. has seen more than a dozen lottery jackpot prices exceed $1 billion since 2016. We'll check traffic and weather in 2 minutes. It's 8:08.
The holidays are here, filled with laughter, family, and memories. But if you're missing the punchline, the conversation, or even the music, it might be time to check your hearing. Hi, I'm Charlie Brennan.
I'm Dr. Bosler with the Audiology Center.
And I'm Dr. Voss. This season, we want you to hear every moment.
Hearing aids today can process sound faster than before. They're smarter at separating the speech from the background noise, meaning that when you're at the holiday parties this season, you'll hear the voices that you want to hear, clearer than before.
So don't wait until the new year. Give yourself the gift of better hearing today and reconnect with the people and the moments that matter most.
Call the Audiology Center, 636-441-7470, or online, theaudiologycenterstl.com. 3 convenient locations.
Call us today and make this holiday season better than last year's. Here for the holidays. Here for life.
Listen up, Missouri. If you haven't heard by now, FanDuel Sportsbook is rolling in the Show Me State, and they are kicking things off with an offer that is really tough to beat. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. So whether you're betting football or basketball or hockey or whatever it is, you can do it all on an app that is safe, secure, and super easy to use. Download the FanDuel app today or head to FanDuel.com/Missouri and join the excitement because it has been a lot of fun since it's been live and rolling in the state of Missouri. It is time to play your game with FanDuel. 21 and over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
8:10. Let's check the roads for you with Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, it looks like we might have another crash down Festus Way, northbound 55. This time it's at Highway A. It looks like there's a lane block there. It's a solid jam at 67. Once you get around it, a little slow through McNutt where we had the earlier crash, and then it's just busy Bayless up to River to Pear. Northbound 270, Sappington Road overpass through Gravel and 44 all the way up to Ladou's busy. South 270, 364 down to Ladou's still kind of slow. Southbound 61, south of P. Pockets on the 64 up to 364. East of Long Road to almost Timberlake and Spady all the way in through the Interbelt's pretty busy. Westbound 64, Hampton to Hanley's congested. Eastbound Highway 70, Lake St. Louis, pockets into 79, a little busy around Fifth Street and around the airport. Southbound 79 still has a jam. South of the Quiver River, most of the way down to Hackman. That's still pretty tough. Downtown, westbound 64 from the 70 split to the Poplar, still slow. And eastbound 64 backed up from 50 through Greenmount, slow most of the way to 158. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
A nice day today with sunshine and a milder afternoon, high 54. Partly cloudy tonight, though 36. Tomorrow, more sun than clouds and mild, high 54. It'll be breezy and mild for a time Thursday. We'll have rain and perhaps a thunderstorm in the morning. Then lingering clouds and perhaps a shower in the afternoon. Temperature fall from 55 back into the 40s. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Actually, a pretty morning, sunny skies, but it is cold. 30 degrees in Florissant, 26 in St. Peter's, and 30 degrees downtown at the Arch. This is Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. Last week, we looked at ways that AI can help you curate shopping lists, comparison charts, and other things to help you make decisions about what to buy this holiday season. There are psychological pros and cons.
It removes this decision fatigue, and it feels like it knows us, but it is limiting, based on zeroing us in our own little bubble.
That's Bob Hutchins, CEO at Human Voice Media, a behavioral psychologist and an AI-focused marketing executive.
Because we are so immersed in this digital world, how do you think that helps us with anxiety this time of year for those of us who have been doing all of that scrolling to try to find those answers ourselves?
Well, it can really help a lot. I like to look at this from what I call the media ecology perspective. That is a field of study where you're looking at these environments and this technology from the perspective of it being an environment that we live and work in, and how do we affect it, and how does it affect us, just like you would in the real ecological sense. And one of the things in media ecology that is kind of a law, a rule that I always find helpful, and most people do when I share it with them, and that's this: that all new innovation and technology, it does two things to us without fail. It will extend or augment some part of us while simultaneously amputating some part of us. It's kind of like magic. It gives us something really amazing while it does remove something. So for instance, I love using Waze wherever I go in the country. It almost 99.9% of the time works pretty well. And my kids don't know how to read a traditional map. And they can get places probably quicker, faster, and without thinking about it than, say, my father could. So they have amputated that ability and given up of cartography and how to read maps in exchange for being able to pull up instantly and know exactly how far things are, how to get there quickly, and to know almost in seconds where you are on any road in the world. But there's a sacrifice for that, calculators, etc. So I would just say, to your question, these are helpful. They will save us anxiety and stress, but we are also putting ourselves at the mercy of an answer engine that we're taking for granted and going, oh, it's given me a chart, here's the answers, it must be accurate. And that's definitely, we're wading into unknown water, where we're going from search that gives us a list, pages and pages of options that we can sort through and go, versus here's one answer, and we are taking it as gospel fact. So that's something that we're going to have to deal with, to say who's providing that one answer, who judges all those pages and pages of choices that we normally had to, I ask a question, here's the answer. Are we going to trust that or not? Those are things that we're going to have to deal with in the coming years.
That was my thought with the companies that are using their own personal assistants. What's in that algorithm that may be influencing me that I don't know about? A company that's paid to have their search boosted up in this system.
Yeah, anytime capitalism is in the mix, you have to answer that question, because here's the reality. We've been a bit spoiled for the last, since the world, for the most part, found out about ChatGPT at the end of 2022. So we've had about 3 years of really playing and experiencing something that doesn't have a lot of, shall I say, commerce attachments to it. But now they're going to have to pay for all this, right? All right. It's been 3 years. They're blowing through billions of dollars a month or a year, however much it is. And the latest things that I've seen is that they're going to insert advertisements into search results. In one sense, that's really interesting, like we're talking about with Amazon, because it has my psychological profile. And that we've never had that before, right? It's one thing to know what I purchase. It's one thing to know what I search for on Google. Amazon knows what I purchase. But these models, they know how I feel, what I struggle with, what my maybe health situations are, my psychological status. It does, psycholinguistic analysis to know maybe if I'm risk averse or not. And that's something very, very different. So now you inject commerce into that, right? Now we've got something that feels a little bit science fiction. I'm hopeful that we'll get it figured out eventually, but that eventually part concerns me, is that we'll probably leave a lot of things in the wake until we get it figured out, because we're dealing with people's psychological, emotional, etc., and that is fertile ground for bad actors to play on when it comes to selling things, if that makes sense.
What about this ability to look for deals? I see people do this, for example, with travel. Like they've successfully learned how to leverage the new artificial intelligence technology to find them the best deals on hotels and flights. Can we do the same with shopping without that interference, maybe, in that commerce stream?
Yeah, you can. And I think what you're getting at here is the rise of what we call agentic AI. In other words, we're moving from chatbots to agents where the machines do things for us. And that's really interesting because we all know the frustration, for example, of Googling, say, promo codes, right? And finding 25 of them. And then we try them one by one, only to see that the code is invalid or it doesn't work, right? It's a waste of our time. We're frustrated, but then it becomes like a game. Like I'm gonna find that 20% off code that actually works. With the new agent capabilities inside of AI, and ChatGPT has them, Gemini has them, others do as well. The agent doesn't just list codes, it creates a loop that it can theoretically take the item to the cart and iteratively test the known discount codes. It gets the database in seconds to find the one that actually lowers the total price. And this is potentially, theoretically, I guess you could say, is the democratization of savings. You don't have to be a tech wizard or an extreme couponer. You just need an AI agent that can act as your fiduciary, and fighting to keep money in your pocket. It turns the checkout process into a game where the consumer could win. And I think that's what you're referring to is this whole agentic era of AI that we're rapidly moving into.
That is Bob Hutchins, CEO at Human Voice Media. Coming up next, Ford cutting back on electric vehicles. We'll go in depth with Detroit auto reporter Jeff Gilbert. Let's look at what autos we've got on the roads now in St. Louis with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
There's still got a few out there, unfortunately, Megan. This traffic report's service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. In fact, a minor crash at the end of the ramp from 270 onto eastbound 64. It looks like it may be partially blocking the right lane, mostly on the shoulder, though. But North 270 is backing up in pockets from 44, and South 270 is backing up midway between 364 and Olive down to that 64 East merge-on point. Southbound 61, Wentzville Parkway to 64, so 364 is still heavy. A little backup through Boone's Crossing to Topgolf, a little slow at Clarkson, and then east of Lindbergh through the Interbelt. Westbound 64, Hampton to Hanley, that's still slow. Eastbound Highway 70 from Bryan Road into TR Hughes is still busy. After that, it's not as big of a deal. Southbound 79, not a solid jam, but from Quiver River all the way down to Hackman, a lot of it's bumper to bumper, but it's slow as well. Northbound 55, still slow stuff north of A up through McNutt due to earlier problems. Bayless up to River to Pear. Westbound 64, 70 splits of the Poplar. Eastbound 64, East of 50 past Greenmount, you've got delays. Next update at 8:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Looks like we're going to have plenty of sunshine today. It is going to be warmer this afternoon with a high of 54. Right now, sunny skies, 30 degrees downtown at the Arch.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers, an important decision, and should not be based solely on advertising.
Hi, Margaret with Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano. Our St. Louis Baseball Cardinals reset last season. Now they're planning for the long term. Have you thought about a long-term plan for your family? A will, a trust, powers of attorney? Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano can guide you with a personalized estate plan. Sign up for our free webinar on our website, yourestateMatters.com. Learn more about estate planning, get some answers, list your questions, then schedule a consultation. You can plan for your family, your favorite charities, taxes, your long-term care, and even your pets now, before the courts do it for you later. Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano, yourestateMatters.com.
The choice of an attorney is an important decision and shouldn't be based solely on advertising.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This holiday season, when you get them STIHL, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit STIHLUSA.com for gift ideas and seasonal savings. Happy holidays from STIHL. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
You're back with Total Information AM. I'm Megan Lynch. Ford Motor Company is pulling back on plans for electric vehicles in what will amount to a more than $19 billion financial hit. Joining us now, Jeff Gilbert of WWJ in Detroit, who has covered the automotive industry for decades. Jeff, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Sure. Thanks for calling.
So when it comes to Ford, what led to this decision to cut back on its EV line?
Changing market conditions. A few years ago, everybody thought EVs were the future. Well, it hasn't quite turned out that way. You also have changing fuel economy regulations. So their thought is, yeah, we'll make some smaller EVs as commuter cars, but for the most part, we're going to push pickups as we have been and heavily promote hybrids.
So how much is this changing their production lines, and what could this mean for manufacturing facilities in the U.S.?
Well, one of the most interesting things is a few years ago, Ford announced this big EV plant in Tennessee. Well, now that's going to become the Tennessee truck plant. It's going to make pickup trucks, and they say it's a kind of pickup they haven't sold before. They're also adapting production here in Detroit, where they have made an electric pickup truck, the F-150 Lightning. Now they're going to make an extended range pickup truck, which is electric but has an onboard gasoline recharger to provide electricity when the batteries wear down.
So it sounds like it's more of a move to hybrid then?
Definitely. Much more of a move to a hybrid, as well as staying with a number of gasoline-powered vehicles. They figure by 2030, they'll be about half electrified, and most of that will be hybrid, and the rest will be pure gasoline.
Now, obviously, they've looked at what consumers want, but as you watch this industry and what's happening with both EVs and hybrids, what do you see as far as what consumers seem to be going for most?
Well, consumers certainly in this past year have gone a lot for hybrids. EVs are great if you're just taking them to commute to work, but you still have that range anxiety and problem with the batteries. Where do I charge it when I'm away from home? Hybrids do better fuel economy. They're a mainstream technology. They're tried and true. So we're seeing a lot more of that, and that seems to be what the consumer wants.
What about financially for this company? What I've heard is this basically amounts to more than a $19 billion financial hit.
It is, but EVs have been about a $4 to $5 billion a year financial drain on Ford. And they say they feel in doing this, they can make their EV business profitable by about 2029. So it's short-term pain for long-term gain.
Jeff, thank you so much. Appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
That is Jeff Gilbert of WWJ in Detroit joining us this morning here on KMOX. It's now 8:27, and this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
The holidays can be stressful, and one of the most stressful things they say is moving. So if you have to move during the holidays, you are probably hoping for a little relief. Well, call Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, because she will sell your home and she'll take so much of the pressure off of you because you don't have to be worrying about it constantly. You can think about the other things like packing and the next chapter of your life. Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, she will guarantee in writing to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she will buy it herself. She really makes buying and selling so simple, and her team sells for top dollar, which means more money for you. She'll sell it quickly, and she closes a home sale just about every other day, unlike other agents, who may do, 4 to 5 homes a year. If you think you have extraordinary circumstances, I will guarantee that Gloria has the solution at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or find her online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Hey, bills happen! So when you need extra cash fast, go to billshappen.com. Have you been turned down? Are your credit cards maxed out? Do you have bad credit? Go to billshappen.com. You could find a lender and get up to $5,000 cash as early as tomorrow. Billshappen.com is safe, secure, and all online. Just remember, when you need cash, go to billshappen.com. Billshappen.com for the cash you need now. Billshappen.com.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
This is Ron Kraszewski, Chairman and CEO of Stifel. As the year comes to a close, I want to thank our clients, colleagues, and communities for your trust and support. We're especially proud of the Stifel U.S. Ski Team. Their drive, resilience, and pursuit of their goals this winter reminds us what's possible when we stay committed. From all of us at Stifel, we wish you and your family a joyful holiday season and a new year filled with health, happiness, and success. Stifel, where success meets success.
At Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, every moment with our patients is a gift. This holiday season, you can be the reason children have hope as they fight serious illness and reach milestones once thought impossible. Your gift provides life-saving care to those who need it most. Please donate today at treeofhope.org and be the reason a child has hope for tomorrow.
8:30, we owe you another check of the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, we still got slow traffic on 270. This traffic reports service of the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. Delays north 270 right at about 44 up to 64. Still have that crash at the ramp from 270 on to eastbound 64. Looks like it's mainly over to the right shoulder. South 270 is slow at 364, a brief backup at Olive, but like I said, all the way down to the 64 east ramp, it remains pretty busy. Eastbound Highway 70 from Bryan Road in through T.R. Hughes, there's a couple of slow spots, 270 into the Rock Road. Southbound 79, not a jam, but it's still pretty busy most of the way down from the Quiver River, Old Monroe, all the way down to T.R. Hughes. Just a lot of slow traffic. Southbound 61 is almost clear onto 64. It's still busy there to the Boulevard. There's a couple of spots, Long Road to Boone's Crossing in the Valley, and then east of Lindbergh through the Interbelt. Westbound 64, Hampton through Big Bend is kind of heavy. Northbound 55, a little slow at McNutt. Bayless up to River to Pear. Westbound 64, 3rd Street to the Poplar. Now that's a bit better. Eastbound 64, east of 50, past almost to 158 is still pretty busy. At Penn Mutual, we believe that life insurance is a central part of a sound financial plan and that it can make an enduring impact for generations to come. Talk to your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL. Penn Mutual, trusted for life. Next updated at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
From the Salika Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, looks like we're going to have plenty of sunshine today, warmer this afternoon than yesterday, a high of 54. Right now, sunny, 30 downtown at the Arch. Authorities searching for answers after the tragic deaths of the iconic Hollywood director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle at their home. The Reiner son Nick now in custody on suspicion of murder. And joining me, CBS News entertainment reporter Matt Wolf. Matt, thanks for your time this morning.
Hey, Megan. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. What do we know about Nick Reiner and his relationship with his parents?
Well, first off, let's start with the basics, as you alluded to. Today, this case goes in front of the LA DA's office, and we're going to know more in the coming days. But I think what needs to be spoken about now is the investigation. I mean, all eyes on especially what was going on in the hours leading up to this horrendous situation on Sunday night. Allegedly, there was a party that Conan O'Brien hosted, and allegedly there was a big blow-up between Nick Reiner and his parents there. Nick Reiner allegedly acting erratic at this party, interrupting people's conversations. I've been hearing Bill Hader might be involved in this as well. One of his conversations was interrupted by Nick Reiner. So they're going to be questioning a lot of people in the coming days, possibly Conan O'Brien.
No, I understand that Nick has a history and was very open, along with his father, about his history of addiction.
Yeah, absolutely. For years, he struggled with addiction, mental health issues, even homelessness. Him and his father got together, and they actually made a movie about this called Being Charlie back in 2015, which was based on, the father-son experience with going, through all this. And by all accounts, things had been fixed, but now it looks like things have taken a dark turn with everything. Just still a lot to unpack with all of this. And again, they're going to be looking at his mental state leading up to things on Sunday night.
In the midst of the investigation, do we know any details yet of, services or memorials for the Reiners?
Not yet. All is quiet. It's still a very shocking thing, not just for the Hollywood community, but I think overall, because, this was somebody with some of us of a certain age, grew up with him as Mike Stivic on All in the Family. And then he becomes this amazing director with some of the most indelible films of our time. A Few Good Men, When Harry Met Sally. You go down the list, The Princess Bride. It's unbelievable that we're talking now in a world without Rob Reiner.
Matt, thanks so much. Appreciate your time this morning.
You as well. Take care.
That is CBS News entertainment reporter Matt Wolf joining us this morning on KMOX. It's 8:34.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
It's now 8:35, and it's time for your Money Report, sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Courtney Donahoe.
Ford has struggled for years to make its electric vehicle business profitable. Now the automaker will take a $19.5 billion hit tied to a sweeping overhaul of that business. As part of the strategic shift, the automaker is canceling a planned electric F-Series truck, shifting production toward gas and hybrid vehicles, and repurposing an EV battery plant. Investors are getting a closer look at the health of the labor market as the government releases the jobs report for November this morning. The data was delayed due to the shutdown in Washington. Stock futures are edging lower. And a chip crunch is expected to curb smartphone output next year. Global smartphone shipments may decline more than 2% as a shortage of memory chips drives up costs and squeezes production. That's according to industry tracker Counterpoint Research. Meantime, the average selling price for handsets is set to rise close to 7% in 2026. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
It's Tom Ackerman, Genesis of St. Charles, the #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2025. Your premier Genesis dealer, Genesis of St. Charles. Now is the time to visit. It's the signature event at Genesis of St. Charles. They want your trade, and they're willing to pay more for it on any new Genesis purchase. No games, no gimmicks, just upfront pricing. Unlock the e-price state-of-the-art facility, 5601 Veterans Memorial Parkway. That's off Mid Rivers Mall Drive and I-70. It's Genesis of St.
Law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $40 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $18 a month, a savings of nearly $300 a year.
Whether you need a $100,000 policy or a $10 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. In a hurry? Don't worry. With SelectQuote, you can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-637-9116. That's 1-800-637-9116. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-637-9116. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
This is Kyle Bush with Krintz Financial Group. For over 6 decades, we've helped St. Louis families and businesses plan with purpose and live with confidence. How many times have you changed jobs over the years? If you're like many professionals, you may have left behind one or more 401ks. Unwatched, unmanaged, and potentially your largest retirement asset. Just because it's out of sight doesn't mean it should be out of mind. Let's make sure it's working as hard for your future as you are. Your goals, our mission. Start today at kfgadvisors.com.
Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services. Member FINRA/SIPC. Prince Financial Group, broker-dealer.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
This is 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. Delayed government reports indicate the United States gained 64,000 jobs in November, but lost 105,000 in October as federal workers departed after cutbacks. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky says peace proposals for U.S. officials to present to Russia could be finalized within days. And U.S. health officials have expanded approval of a drug that boosts libido in women who report stress due to low sex drive. It's 8:40, time for another check of roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, it looks like they have a flatbed tow truck now on the scene for that incident on the shoulder on the ramp from 270 on to eastbound 64. North 270 still bogged down at 44. South 270, a couple of spots from 364 down to 64 where it's busy. It's getting better on that run. Eastbound Highway 70, approaching K to TR Hughes, still a little slow, 270 into the Rock Road. Southbound 79, not a solid jam, but it's still pretty busy. South of Old Monroe, south of the Quiver River, down to North Main Street, bumper to bumper briefly, but more just slow traffic than anything else. Eastbound 64, Lindbergh through the Interbelt, still heavy. South 170, a couple of slowdowns. All to 64, westbound 64, Hampton to Hanley delays. Northbound 55, Bales to River to Pears, busy. 64 slow at the Poplar, and eastbound 64, approaching Greenmount, most of the way to 158 is heavy. I'm Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company at St. Louis Traffic Center.
From our family at Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation to yours. Happy holidays.
You want to hurry this up, Mark? I'm freezing my baguettes off.
Relax, Grandpa. Air Comfort Service is on their way. Aubrey, you're not doing anything. You want to let me know when they get here?
Honey, her eyes are frozen shut. Plus,
avoid a 5-alarm emergency with an HVAC system check from Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Learn more at aircomfortservice.com.
Thanks for listening to Total Information AM. I'm Megan Lynch. The holidays can be a time of indulgence for your kids. More sweets, less structure, and less exercise. I spoke with Adam Zaitsev, CEO of the Dominique Dawes Gymnastics and Ninja Academies, about how you can keep them from straying too far from healthy habits.
I have 2 teenage kids, and I have to admit that over the holidays, I do let them slack a little bit, and we don't worry quite as much about, for example, what they're eating. But what can that lead to, for example, if they've got a 2-week break and they're not getting much exercise and they're eating a lot of junk?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Listen, your athletes, whether they're teenagers, young kids, adults, you didn't become an athlete or get in shape in 2 weeks, and you're certainly not going to lose it all in 2 weeks. But it certainly can have an effect. And I think, one of the things we talk about both in my house and with our kiddos here in our academies is, talk about maybe addition instead of restriction during that time. Talk about adding some vegetables before you have dinner and you're going to have those sweets, and trying to kind of not put a negative connotation around it, right? And we also talk to them about trying to move a little bit. You've got to commit to, hey, you don't have to exercise much this week. You're not going to be in the gym lifting weights. You're not on the field with your team, but let's get out for 30 minutes every day as a family, or let's do some things that are going to keep us active, as a family and as a group, and bond during this time. We see a lot of that, and that really works well with these kiddos. We also remind them that water is key. You're going to drink a lot of soda, a lot of hot chocolate, all the things you drink at the holiday time, and just staying hydrated alone for an athlete during this couple of weeks certainly does help, right? And just other things like little breaks. Hey, when maybe we can't go out for a walk, it's snowing, but we can do some jumping jacks, some mountain climbers, something just to keep our body moving a little bit. But again, I would also just reiterate, in 2 weeks, it didn't take him 2 weeks to become an athlete. It's certainly not going to take him 2 weeks to not become one, but trying to do some moderation and keep a positive attitude about it during those 2 weeks certainly helps.
Is there a benefit in some ways to having that break and maybe moving away from those routines a little bit, just mentally and physically?
Without a doubt. I mean, certainly. I try to talk to our athletes about kind of the 80-20 rule, right? And scheduling rest is not a weakness. It's part of your training, right? And I know you coach, right? So, active rest days, a little light stretching, a little walking. So we encourage that 80-20 rule, right? It's really important. At least one full day off a week is what we encourage. And then on the days where you're kind of at the active rest, you're not in the gym, or you're not in the basketball court, or you're not out playing hockey, do some light stretching, some walking. And we always point to the professional athletes that they see on TV all the time. And we remind them, we joke with them, hey, you're not going to spend $1 million a year on your body like LeBron James, but there's a reason why he does that. He rests. He has a sleep chamber. He has a professional chef. You're going to have none of those things, but you can do your own version of that. You can eat a little healthier at home. You can have an extra set of vegetables instead of an extra plate of fries. You can get some sleep. We all know kids love technology. So from that perspective, they love technology. And so an $80 whoop band can tell them how much they're sleeping, what they're up to. We can teach them about things like HRV. They know tech more than we do these days. So all those things I certainly feel apply and really makes kids realize that rest is important.
How then do we get them back on those routines without making it feel like a burden?
Yeah, I mean, after the holidays, I think if you incorporate some of those kind of routines into your couple of weeks, even if it's just light workouts in between doing stuff at home, or the walk after the meal, I think they won't be out of it from that perspective. But I also think it's just training their brain. We've got a couple of weeks as a family. Your body needs a couple of weeks rest, and every day that you embark on this next 2 weeks of rest, remember, you're one day closer to getting back in the field, back in the gym. And I think it's fun for them, and their sports is fun. Hopefully it is for kids these days, and it's not a challenge and it's not a burden. Then they're going to want to be back there, and they're going to enjoy the rest. Their body's going to feel better, but they're also going to be excited because they love getting back out on that field or that court.
You talked about walks. What are some other great ways to incorporate exercise over the holidays that would be just pure fun?
Yeah, it's funny. We love to talk to our kids and give them suggestions. So if they're traveling, which many of them are, we talk about airport Olympics. So turn travel into a game with your parents. You always get there 2 hours early. See who can get the most steps before you board. When you're waiting for your bags, who can hold a one-legged tree pose the longest, or when you're standing there holding and waiting for the bags, or if you're in a hotel room, we joke about hotel room ninja. Like use the hotel for a place to do some simple bodyweight exercises. Challenge your mom or dad. Do some wall sits, some planks. Use that bed. Everyone has 1 or 2 beds. Do some incline push-ups. Even 15 minutes of this kind of improvised activity in this little circuit you can do with your parents as kiddos. It certainly helps maintain that muscle memory and the energy levels that the kiddos need once they get back into their routine.
I'm curious what you are seeing overall when it comes to the growing childhood obesity epidemic.
Mhm. Yeah, I've been in the U.S. health and fitness industry for 20 years now, and now the last year and a half of that on, getting kids active and kids fitness and gymnastics, and 18 plus years in the adult side. And I think unfortunately, this epidemic was always there. It was compounded significantly post-COVID, being inside, not being able to run around, being outside a little bit, but staying home. The screen time tripled with these kiddos. And so it is a real problem. And I think it does start at home. We can all push the blame on schools because there's no more gym or very little gym in school. Or we could say that it's because all sports are competitive now and kids can't go and have fun. But at the end of the day, it starts at home. It's a family circle. And the family has to have a goal. The family has to schedule time on their calendar to be active together. And you can't miss it, like a business meeting. Certainly be there, right? And involve the kiddos in the goal setting. If they're involved in the goal setting, they're not going to feel like mom or dad's did something that they can't achieve. But it's a real problem. We're going to hit almost 30% obesity in this country, and our kids under 18 by 2030. And that is not a positive trend, not just for our kiddos, not just for the overall family unit in this country, but even from a national security perspective, Megan, it's a real challenge. And so really got to focus on at home, in the communities, finding ways to get kids active and commit to it.
How powerful is it when parents model this instead of just talking about it?
It's absolutely critical. And we talk about a lot of different things with parents, and they're like, well, how do we do this? Right? And we tell them it's easy. Yes, you could send them to Dominique Dawes Academy. Yes, you could send them to learn how to skate and play hockey, and you can do certain things and play basketball, but there's lots of little things. We try to encourage parents who probably didn't have a life of conditioning, and that's where it starts, so they don't understand how to do it. We try to talk about habit stacking. So, hey, take one habit that's existing, like brushing your teeth, and add a habit after it for everybody. So brush your teeth in the morning, and then everyone does 10 squats and 10 push-ups, and we do 3 sets of that, and then we go on our day. So there's little things we teach parents how to do, even when it comes to food. Instead of trying to figure out calories, just like eat more nutrient dense, some fruits, some vegetables, and without having to figure out your whole diet. You could just make simple changes. And so it's critical. Everything we do when we were younger, when you and I were younger, we did because our parents modeled it or didn't model it.
That's Adam Zaitsev, CEO of the Dominique Dawes Gymnastics and Ninja Academies. Coming up, we're going to tell you how you can join a training program that will get you in on the ground floor of any film and TV production happening in Southern Illinois. That's next.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. YourEyeDoc.com.
The Dave Glover Show is excited to partner with Hardee's and Operation Food Search for their holiday food drive. Dave and the crew will be out at Hardee's in St. Peter's on Friday, December 19th, starting at 1 p.m. All donations benefit Operation Food Search to help children and families facing food insecurities. The Dave Glover Show, Hardee's, and Operation Food Search, and the Holiday Food Drive. Get all the details about the campaign, or to make a donation online, head to kmox.com/events.
Southern Illinois University Edwardsville will be helping people interested in the film and TV industry get their foot in the door and hopefully help the state attract more productions to the Metro East and beyond. The university has been awarded a grant from the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity to launch a film and TV workforce training program. Dr. Suman Mishra is professor and chair of the Department of Mass Communication at SIUE.
We recently got a grant from the Illinois government to do the workforce training. It is a paid training. The trainees will get about $1,200 a stipend in order to do this training. The idea is to develop the workforce in Illinois regards to television and film. As film and television industry get more tax credit to do their work here, there is a need for a workforce who can support these industries. So there was a grant, and we applied for the grant, and we got that grant. And so we will be taking part in this kind of training.
How many applicants do you anticipate for this?
So our cohort is supposed to be about 10 to 14. So we have 3 cohorts. We don't know. We are doing it for the first time. So we have no idea how many applications we will get. We are just, putting the word out right now. Maybe in a month's time, we will be in a better position to say how many applications we have got.
What will the training be like?
So this is, so we have weekend trainings. So it is 80-hour training. We have one cohort which will train on weekends. And then we have 2 other cohorts where the training will take place in 2 consecutive weeks. The training will involve both the film and television aspects of it. So from production aspect to the basic etiquettes on sets. So it runs a whole gamut. The idea is that anybody who does this training can get an entry-level position.
Welcome back. After a warm fall in the Midwest, weather forecasters say that we might have more to say this week.
You're hearing students working on a TV production in the university's newly renovated control room and studio, the same facility that the new film and TV workforce training program will utilize to give the cohort hands-on experience with a crew on a real set.
It's going to give them introductions to entry-level jobs, either on television sets or productions and film sets and productions. So it really is going to be something that I don't know where it really exists anywhere else.
Teresa Pauley, broadcast engineer in the Mass Comm department at SIUE.
There's a lot of need for this type of work to attract film and TV productions, and they just don't have that workforce. So our hope is that this will help build that and attract more film and television production.
Because I can imagine for these productions, it's probably pretty costly if they were to bring all of their staffing needs into the state.
Exactly. When these productions come in, they don't bring, the PAs, the production assistants, or, gophers, or even, audio assistants. They hire a lot of local people.
Is this the kind of thing that could lead people into other positions within the industry? Is it a stepping stone?
Absolutely. I mean, I think we all know that any industry, if you can get your foot in the door, it helps, right? But this industry is so different. How do you do that? How many jobs really are there? How do you network? How do you get on that first set or on that first production? Once you do that and you do a good job, you can just keep going from there.
That's Teresa Pauley, broadcast engineer, and Dr. Suman Mishra, chair of the Department of Mass Communications at Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville.
Kelly Chase gave an emotional speech during Hockey Fights Cancer Night last night at Enterprise. Plus, a former airline pilot talks about pilots and mental health. Plus, Andrew Egger, White House correspondent for The Bulwark, joins us in studio. It all starts at 9 a.m. on The Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Bills Happen.
Many people take on a side gig to make extra money. Rick Cobb of the workplace consulting firm 2 Discern says you should run it past your full-time job first because they may have some ground rules.
You can't be making money off of customers that you have access to because of your full-time job.
In other words, ask permission because you may not get the chance to beg for forgiveness. I'm Rob Hart.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Hey, Bills Happen!